मैं वीडियो देख लूँ इसमें। Please show me.
Good morning, Narendra sir.
Good morning. Every Saturday banana program बड़ा मुश्किल है ना, but you are all professionals, but you are able to do that. It's a really great.
Yeah, basically what happens is like after the weekend, we recharge ourselves on
I know
Saturday
this idea
for
is
the
very
next
good
week.
actually. Only that is because you have a very good group and all. WhatsApp में आप उनको reach out करते हैं. उसका अलावा those who have already registered, they know that there is a program. So you are getting a good audience. Whole idea was problem is how to reach out to the targeted audience. That is very important.
Manoj is
Yeah, we have Manoj, and he is really doing a great job
what
in
you have to
reaching out to
do,
people.
suppose आज fintech है,
And
so fintech का
uh,
target audience का आप inventory करना. So apart from other
uh,
professionals that who should know this, but the fintech also coming way on the way, that will be useful. ऐसा ongoing. ऐसा अभी you ask the more people come, you get a good inventory of different sector wise or professionals as well as people.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. Like we can create a database wherein people interested into respective
Yeah.
sectors, we can
Yes.
sort
Yes.
it out so that whenever we have similar kind of event, we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
reach out to
Like
them.
that is one thing. Similarly, like you know that I do that N cube, so we can
Mhm.
collaborate. Apart from that,
Mhm.
so that our targeted segment and your target segment both will reach. Same way other market who are good in imparting knowledge, their organization
Mhm.
can be collaborated. वो सब आगे करेंगे. We should have a
Mhm.
one meeting amongst us also. How to improve
Yeah,
this?
yeah, that sounds really good. Good
हाँ, ये
suggestion.
दो सजेशन दिए आपको. आगे हमको
Uh-huh.
बुलाइए, एक मीटिंग करेंगे, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग.
yes.
Yeah.
Very good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Very
Good
good morning,
morning.
Narendra sir.
Yeah,
Very
good
good morning,
morning. Good morning.
Aditya, Manoj, everyone.
So
So
every
welcome.
Saturday we
It's
will
a
be there
pleasure to
now.
see. It is pleasure to see that 40 people have already joined in, and you yet
Very
to start the timing. So it's going to be a great thing. Again, like you're talking about blockchain, absolutely, it's an area of the future. Good morning, Aishwary.
Good morning, sir.
We really look forward to hearing from you, and we'd like to get enlightened on the point of the blockchain technology all about. Great.
Aishwarya, your setup looks really great.
Thank you.
We are just a minute before the time, and we are already 51 now. And look forward to have full house in couple of minutes past the scheduled time.
The area itself is of so importance that everyone is trying to log in at the earliest.
Yeah, that's true. Like when we see the Bitcoin moving up to $40,000, it's like, did I miss the bus, or yeah, I can still board on it?
No. That's a different call. Like, considering the trading strategy and those are different things. But yes, considering the importance of blockchain and considering
That's
that, this will be used in each and every area down the line, it is very important that we all be aware of it.
yeah,
How
but
are we
that's
utilizing? That's a different question.
Yeah, that's very much true. Like, if I'm buying something, I need to know that what is the use of it. So, like, if there is a practical use of any Bitcoin which can be used as a foreign currency exchange, and it's
Yeah,
convenient, then definitely we can always look forward to buy it. But if it's just a commodity we just buy and future is not visible, then we know that the
very true.
price will just move down.
Yeah, it will vanish.
Yeah.
We've been always hearing about vanishing companies.
No, but this Bitcoin, I've been looking like I left tracking it, but when I was doing my FRM, there was one of the particular topic wherein they wanted us to study on Bitcoin, and that was like how mining activity is done. I just read the book knowledge and not beyond that. So really
Okay.
look forward to hear from a knowledgeable person to
Yeah.
understand it in detail.
Very true. Look for.
Because
We just waiting for.
what we can read for hours, we can understand in just 1 hour.
Yeah, very true. Like you have good speakers, so it really helped out.
Yeah, true.
Okay. We have already crossed 2 minutes 11, but we feel that we'll just wait for more 2-3 minutes, and then we'll start the day, please.
Yeah, that will be. Thanks, Ashwari, to putting up this.
Problem.
Ashwari, I'm just getting a repeated request for your login. Is it something that you're getting logged off and re-logging in?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. There was some error, maybe. Okay, there are several people joining your name.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I can see like around 10 or 12 people join in with your name. So maybe because they mistakenly put in your name in the time at the time of logging in. So I'll request people who have logged in with Ashwari's name, you can go and uh, use the chat window wherein there's an option wherein you can change your name to your real name. That will be great.
Hey, Ram Jetmalani.
So great. We are almost 5 minutes over time. So thanks everyone for joining this series of webinars, which is organized by Think Tank. Uh, we we thank Think Tank, which is well known for opportunities to participate in knowledge series, the Think Tank webinar.
Webinar.
So we organize a regular webinars on relevant practical issues useful for all stakeholders in finance, corporate affairs, industry, and professionals. Think Tank have been doing a great work since over a decade through Think Tank conferences with CEOs, CXOs, and CFOs. In the panels,
Ram
we have
Jetmalani.
panel speaker into this from renowned companies who are holding good reputation into the market. Now with digital meeting knowledge series, it is benefiting more than 9,000 professionals. So like when we have these series, there are people joining us at the event, and even
Coffee.
they go back and see our YouTube recordings also. You
Oh,
have that privilege. In case you
level है.
miss this, you can go back and check on the YouTube where we have these series. So today, what we are here is to have an event on fintech. What do we mean by fintech? So it's basically when we know that financial activities used to happen on a traditional way, wherein we used to go to the bank, we used to have our books of accounts there, we deposit cash, you have a register, everything get registered, you need to go and re-verify things. With technology, things have changed. You think about share trading. Those share trading used to be like you fill up a form, you send to the company, then you get that transfer done. All these things have, the technology has changed things into the financial system. So what we look forward here today is about the Bitcoin, which is basically a changing uh, theme. In case you are not talking, appreciate if you can keep yourself on mute for the interest of others who are listening. Yeah. So that is what we have. I would not speak much over it because we have experts. Narendra sir, you want to speak something about it?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, good morning to all the participants, and we should particularly appreciate a professionals coming together and organizing think tank webinars. And for some time now, I'm finding on every Saturday, and they are doing this webinar and reaching out to the different subjects which are daily use for all the participants, and bringing the experts on the this platform and giving their knowledge, imparting. That is a very important. And I also saw quite a lot of interest in the participants also in asking questions. And today, that on fintech and blockchain, they have organized, and that is primarily is a very very important what you call disruption which has taken place in the not only in the banking and financial services, but in every area of business, and whether it is micro and small industries, or in large industries, or in the e-commerce, or in the supply chain management, or in management of port, transport, roads, in every, or even airlines, in everywhere, the blockchain technology is being coming in a way, and quite a lot of startups or youngsters, after fairly good exposure in the IT industry or in the respective field of their study, or what you call work experience, they are now going towards innovation, and they are coming with the newer and newer fintech platform, and which can be given to the different industry, and they are getting a good support. There are high net worth individual angel funds, that international investors, and mostly domestic also. People like for example, our Narayan Murthy, or Nandan Nilkani, or Sudha Murthy, or Mr. Mohandas Pai. So many from Bangalore, no, that startup ecosystem has developed, and in India altogether now, whether south, north, west, or anywhere, that this ecosystem has developed thanks to the that type of enterprising nature of a group of professionals. And some of them have even encashed after the first round, second round, third of funding. They were able to get good valuation. So coming to the banking industry, that the webinar, what you call the fintech and blockchain, has made a much disruption. And now all the players, whether banks, NBFC, or other financial players, as well as in the capital market, all of them, we have thought of collaborative approach, not, rather than competitive approach. That being the case, leading foreign banks, leading new generation banks, as well as the major public sector banks, have started investing in the fintech, and they have found that getting the app of these fintech got into the mainframe of our ecosystem of banking, has enabled quite a lot of reach, and costless services and customer experience. And after, particularly during this COVID, if you can say that the 95% of the transaction are done through online. One is most of the banks, commercial banks, or scheduled commercial banks, have invested in lot in developing technology, and now even on cloud computing or artificial intelligence, machine learning, or blockchain technology. In every respect, the public sector bank and other scheduled commercial bank and new generation bank have started investing. And take for example the of State Bank of India. It is an integrated one of the platform. Today, not only the product and services, including credit delivery, is enabled through this. And you must have heard the earlier chairman, Rajnish Kumar, talking that a substantial valuation to this particular one innovation. So, if this type of innovation can bring quite a lot of laurels to their customer experience, customer delight, and now they are also benefited in reach, because during the COVID, the government could, another important changes came after our Prime Minister took that Jan Dhan Yojana. So with the JAM, that is Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar card and the mobile, and due to the penetration of the mobile, today any part of the India, whether cannot say that they are not served, they are able to reach. And that's why substantial amount of money which are direct benefit transfer are being done through this JAM accounts, means Aadhaar enabled through mobile technology, and 70,000 crores of money could be saved, and duplicate payment could be avoided. So that has come handy. Now, whether it is a payment to the farmers, particularly there is a need for these players to make a revolution, not only in the urban and metropolitan areas. There is a need to make that revolution in the rural space. Today, not only rural economy is the only one, particularly agriculture is growing at 3.4, when the overall our India has a very, what you call, negative growth, which we covered last time also. That, but that agriculture, allied activities, and bringing technology to them, bringing a lot of knowledge of seed or other village industries, bringing the MSME also to the upper grade of adoption of technology, and bringing their products at the doorstep of the manufacturers, or enabling them to export in a complete the economic ecosystem. This fintech, blockchain technology, as well as the new generation technology, as well as the entrepreneurs, they can make a change. And looking at that, all of you are aware that the Reserve Bank of India brought out that some time back a regulatory sandbox, and they have invited application from the fintech players. And in the first instance, two of them such fintech who had the in the regulatory and compliance and the working in the that ecosystem of innovation hub, and then by getting the approval of the regulator, now they have been given for commercial use in the market. And now in the second lot, like that, two were approved, and in the second lot again they have invited. And recently RBI is also inviting some expert to hold this innovation hub as the chief. Now similar initiative has been taken by the insurance industry, that is IRDA, our regulatory organization. And in the insurance sector, quite a lot of applications have been received, and a lot of products also been given for IRD. So I think your time is the very essence. So if you go through the data of the UPI, which is one of the very NPCI innovation, and RTGS now, which has made 24/7, and IPMS or electronic fund transfer, in every area this has grown. In, like, some of them have grown 6,000 times more. I have the data also, but I have to respect the other speakers. But that has come handy during this. And today, this transaction on technology will remain
In
normal.
very senior positions. Very good.
Yeah, it will be remaining normal, and people will be used to this through doing from their home. So the branch outlet will be more on what you call marketing and sales and all. Most of the front end service will be replaced by technology. We should also see that after demonetization, another initiative by the government under the leadership of Prime Minister, that today the use of cash has been quite reduced. And in fact, if you ask me, even ATMs today may not have much use. That's why banks are not expanding the ATM, because most of them are done through mobile banking or internet banking or other social media banking, including WhatsApp banking. So that one more area, that blockchain and artificial intelligence and data analytics, that has got a very relevant in because banks and financial institutions have a huge data. Now this data has to be mined, and from the data you should make the cross selling, and you must reach to the customers. And even the Jan account, now today it is more than 41 crores with 1,36,000 crores. That type of, and 60% are operative. Now in that we should reach out to them to put micro industries, other activities. So that after the, and all these, another thing, all these transactions are reflected through wherever they are crossing maybe 25 lakhs above, or through GST. And with the GST today, earlier we had a problem in financing micro and small because their financial statements were not up to the mark. Now, by linking ourselves to the GST, now you could make reach out to these customers and you be able to deliver the credit. And today the credit assessment, credit due diligence, and also your civil data or other data or any other aspect of negative thing, the entire KYC is and also assessment and sanction and documentation all could be done through the technology. So blockchain will, and today just in the recently State Bank advertised most of their specialist job only on the your blockchain or analytics or system integrator or on the cyber security on that area. So of course, one important aspect is that cyber security is also a very important aspect. In fact, recently in my own small Facebook, somebody has misused and some credit card payment came unauthorizedly. So that we have to be fully aware, and banks also have to take a lot of steps to ensure that the customers are not affected through the fraudsters and the hacking or other type of. This is become now during the COVID. These things, hacking and all, have become much more in enhanced level. So that cyber security also becomes part of this, and we have to take the other side of that, where how to be guard about that and how to reduce that and how to ensure our beneficiaries' interest is maintained. Now the area which you are also talking about, financial management or the wealth management or the IPO issues or the trade now trading of shares or in derivatives, in all that, this new fintech and blockchain are going to play important role. And one of important thing that both the exchange, National Stock Exchange as well as the Bombay Stock Exchange, have started investing in fintech, and quite a lot of startups or even IT related, which are a little advanced also, they have now collaborated and they have brought into the mainframe. Now that type of encouragement coming from the such exchanges are also, and even in the commodities or in all the other whole gold trading in everywhere. And one, I think I am not fully aware, the SEBI also should start such innovation hub or the regulatory sandbox and encourage more players to come, so that the entire ecosystem, whether it is a debt market, whether it is a equity market, whether it is a forex market, or it is about the entire our capital market activities, are all integrated through this fintech and blockchain, and all the players are ensured a free and a transparent and a very secured ecosystem for their trade or their business or investment. And they are also given quite a lot of awareness and information, so that we will be achieving the objective of highest digitalization, which is the prime objective of our Prime Minister in bringing digital India, and the contribution of this digital India in all respect will be contributing around 40% to the
network issue,
yeah,
it seems.
40% of the GDP. So with this, I wish all the other participants and particularly the speakers all the best. And this is a very relevant webinar. Thank you for the initiative taken. Thank you.
Thanks, Narendra sir. That was really great and putting up everything about what is happening in the financial world in a nice way. Thanks really so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have Ajay? Ajay?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Ajay, appreciate if you can
Only thing
speak.
is my Wi-Fi is
Not working, I
yeah.
guess.
My
Yeah.
signal is not much there.
Ajay,
So I'm just
welcome.
putting
Please put
myself
your
on
video
audio.
on.
You won't be able to get you on the video. Yeah. Yeah. My
Yeah.
yeah.
No worries, Ajay. Once your
Yeah.
signals are on, we'll
Right.
really look forward to hear
Right.
from you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Manoj, you want to add some word, and then we just hand it over to Aishwarya to speak over.
Sure. If you want, I can speak something about it, and then I think we can end.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Ajay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
everybody wants
Go ahead,
to
Ajay.
expert views.
Yeah. But without
We
the
are-
video,
Conferences and
so
webinars and
right.
also on
Yeah.
tech.
I'm actually in a different location, so that's the problem. Anyway, see, I what I see, fintech is, it's kind of a simple change of business. So it's like what I would say, where the technology in traditional business, where technology sits on the backside. So that is called what we call is backend. While in fintechs, the business is run by the technology. So actually the technology sits in the front side. So you can imagine when a CTO becomes a CEO, what can happen? So I would say once a business is more digitalized, or the business is more in terms of like a fintech, the finance company or a bank, we'll see that marketing efforts or marketing guys are less, and app marketing or social media marketing is more, which is more run by the systems, or the you can say robots and all. At the same time, when you take a loan, there are a credit analyst who work between 9 to 5 and give you a report, and the response time is maybe 2 to 3 days. So a file will take at least 5 to 7 days to get approved, and finally the money is disbursed. I think in the new what happens is the app gets maybe 400 500 algo criteria, and it evaluates a person, looks at its banking statement, its credibility, its other records, and simply puts the money in the bank account of the customer if everything goes well. And this happens, it used to happen in 1 day, then it used to happen in 1 hour. Now it's happening in few minutes, happening in the fintech industry. So what I would say is that there are two kind of businesses, like the traditional businesses and the new age business.
I think we have again lost
So it's
Ajay.
like the traditional business is like a father, it's like a parent, and the new business is like a child. So traditionally, the father is always want you. Yeah, can you?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're a bit
Hello?
dropping.
Can you hear
Hi
me?
Ajay. Yeah, we are hearing you. The signal is becoming weak sometimes, so maybe
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, this is the perfect location. You should not
Okay,
move from this.
okay, okay. So basically, like a traditional business is more, they want to be more secure. They want to take less risk. They want to go linear. Like a linear business in the sense of when in a bank or a finance company, your business grows by number of branches, and in branches, the number of salesperson you have, and the other infrastructure that you have. So if the branches goes from 10 to 20, you may expect some sort of a near doubling of your business, or number of salesperson increase. So there could be increase in the customers also. So this is all traditional linear model. While the new age businesses, they are like a newborn child. They have no baggage. There is absolutely new way of thinking. So it's non-linear model. Uh, their understanding is more, I mean, they are very open in taking new or adapting new things. So I believe these two businesses, like for the new entrants and the existing, both will survive. In fact, for the new businesses, they need support of the traditional businesses, the traditional houses. And for traditional houses, I think this becomes going digital becomes a kind of a transformation exercise. So when I say transfer exercise means, I think they have to get out of their old thinking. Maybe they have to move their mid management into some sort of a reskilling. So, whenever these things happen, I think there is a lot of resistance from people. So I think reskilling is required, which could be very large initially, and it may take maybe 3 to 5 years for a traditional guy, and go fully into digital. But once that investment is made and once you are fully digitalized, I think there will be always an operating leverage. That is why I think people like this kind of a business. I think the banks that I have seen globally who have been successful are JP Morgan. So today it is said that more than 60% of their new recruitments are engineers and not financial guys. And as of now, 1 out of 5 employees of the total count is an engineer. So they have almost 50 to 60,000 employees who are engineers and who have no background of finance, and they are able to manage to the new businesses. Barclays has done well. If you have seen in the Asia, DBS has done well. And in India, I've seen HDFC has been doing very well. There are also some other businesses like Monzo in Europe, or Revolut again in Europe, or TransferWise, again a payment services, or Ethereum, which is again, I think today's topic on crypto and blockchain. These are the guys actually who have done well. While in India, I think we have good players, but we don't have many players in the listed space. Since I look at more on the listed space, but if you look at the unlisted space, I think there are many companies like I would say Paisa Bazaar is there, Zomato is there. I'm talking about the entire e-commerce and other tech related. Paytm is there. Paytm is also big in its own. Then in the fintech again, Zerodha you can take. You can take Upstocks. There are also some of the listed companies like InfoEdge, which is a promoter of Naukri, or India Mart, which is actually doing well. There are FL, and there is metromoney.com. I think they are also doing well. There are small NBFCs who have started, companies like Ugro. Now Ugro is more, it's an ex-Religare guy. He was the ex-president of Religare, and now it's around 700, 800 crores of net worth. And you must have seen them, some announcement came that he is acquiring Religare. So that's a company that you should watch out for. Now there's a very small company, Neogen Fintech. Again, 400, 500 crores market cap, but it is promoted by a FII in USS. So the promoter is the fund manager of US fund. So I think, and there are like medical healthcare services like Dhani is there, or platforms like Yari is there. So I believe this space, we are going to see a big, entrance like maybe Big Bazaar or Paytm, uh, and whether the Indian market is accepting Indian capital market, I would say till last 1 year, Indian was not accepting because Indian market is more on this profit, and I think the turning point came when Jio got money, and so in Reliance's indirectly in Reliance's share price or in market cap, Jio's valuation is embedded. So from there onwards, a new thing has happened that people have started looking at technology companies which are actually into front end of running the business. So fintech, or so you're going for a non. I think it is little difficult for a guy like me. I'm 50 plus,
Ajay, we are
but
missing you.
most of the colleagues that I have seen here in group are 30. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah. You're talking about your
So
age. Yeah. You're still young.
yeah, so basically I'm a 50-year guy. So, maybe people above my age or of my age may not be able to get adapted to the new changes. But I think our group members, most of them are young chartered accountants. I think you should start thinking about these kind of businesses getting more digitalized, uh, get your business also into digital mode. And I think as an investment mode also, this could be the biggest thing in the next 2 years. So digitalized companies, fintechs, health tech, insurance tech, I think all is going to be the next $1 billion ideas in the unlisted market also, as well as in the listed market. So I think with that, I just want to, invite the next speaker, or maybe Sandeep, you can take it forward.
Yeah. Thanks, Ajay. That was really
I'm
great.
sorry, my
And
audio was not good.
no, that was fine. We had some moment of the time the voice was just the words were getting spread. Otherwise, we heard you all.
Yeah.
So that was great. And now we are actually increasing the expectation
Yeah.
from
Okay,
Aishwary.
thanks.
Thank you very much, Narendra. It's really wonderful to have your thoughts on think tank conferences, conclaves, and webinars. And always good to have you as a co-founder for the think tank webinar series. Very nice thoughts, practical issues on government, on Aadhaar, the pioneering work done in India, the India growth story, and how India can lead the world through fintech. It was somehow known as a service uh, industry servicing the whole world, a back office for the whole world. Now it is at the forefront. Fintech. It supports e-commerce. It supports government initiatives. It supports the financial industry. Mr. Narendra, you have been leading and taking IBA to the forefront of the globe to how our financial industries and huge population can lead the world. And fintech is the area, as you have shared. Ajay, very good insights, practical issues, lots of companies in fintech, in the globe, in India, so much great opportunity. And here we did many sessions, conferences on fintech earlier. We were the leading at the forefront. People like Nandan Nilekani and other top professionals, chartered accountants, CFAs, MBAs, ICAEW, CPAs have participated in the fintech series, digital transformation series. Topmost bankers have joined our think tank conclaves and webinars as participants. I see people at senior vice president level in top Nifty banks also joining this series and think tank webinar today on fintech. In this think tank webinar series, we are known to cover practical issues and real life examples. We often don't cover the basics. We assume there are top members in industry and professionals. They know the basics. Basics are always available on Google too. What is very important is to discuss advanced practical issues, what is actually really happening in the world, in the globe, what different countries are doing in various top or leading topics to see that there is advancement in growth, healthy growth, wealth, health, governance, and the growth story, including environment, social governance issues. Fintech, we discussed in the beginning on launch of the think tank webinar also, and it has been continued to be discussed in the last previous many sessions. And we discussed in the wealth creation series, which received a very good response, as Aditya shared. Over 10,000 participants, CEOs, CXOs, CFOs, and eminent professionals have benefited. So today we will cover more on fintech. We already launched a series last a few months ago. We'll have different aspects of fintech from top people with a good experience in industry. Lot of enthusiasts are there. Youngsters are there in fintech. They are supporting. They are learning. Also, fintech, it's a learning curve by interacting with the eminent panel, CEOs, CFOs, CXOs, and top people. Youngsters would also learn. We shared last time. We'll be having hopefully 50% of the panelists who are youngsters, who are below 35. We have that. We had many youngsters joining in the last couple of weeks. Today we have another youngster and also a banker, Aishwary, working at American Express, a very avid enthusiast of blockchain, Bitcoin, also learning fintech, getting into deep dive, which is a mantra for the think tank conferences and webinars. He has joined as a participant, and the topics for the fintech conclaves and webinars are decided by the participants themselves. I'm very happy participants are coming regularly to offer their practical issues and insights, and more topics like independent directors, corporate governance, wealth creation, global markets, e-commerce, fintech, banking critical issues, IBC, growth story, deep dive knowledge on various sectors, technical analysis. Aishwary, you have worked very hard till late night, till 2 o'clock. I know, updating latest slides to discuss mainly practical issues, real life examples. Aishwary, there it is to you. MBA, IM, chartered accountant, and lots of qualifications. I hope, Aishwary, you will add many more qualifications in the future also, and continue sharing your insights as a participant in the highly prestigious think tank conferences, conclaves, and webinar series.
Manoj ji, एक दो sentence है before your madam can come. That is one. Recently, there was a big scam by some Chinese players in India doing online application and giving loans, and then putting a lot of pressure on recovery and all. So we have to, when we are doing online banking through fintech and all, we have to know whether they are having a link up with the bank and they are sponsored by the bank, or that way, and otherwise going by that and getting their hands burned. That risk has to be avoided. So one person has asked question whether we are going to disrupt the entire banking or banks are going to collaborate, which I had told that banks will be collaborating, investing, and enabling the fintech to come with the latest technology. They cannot, in a way, because without the license and all, they cannot disrupt the banking, but that will be complementary. And the third one on the Bitcoin, the Reserve Bank or the government both have not approved and it is not a legally approved in India, except that Supreme Court has given permission for them to operate. So globally also, I saw some Standard & Poor report also that it is not going to replace or it is going to disrupt the banking arena, but it is becoming a one type of investment activity, and people are now feeling the lot of valuation gain. It can also go other way also. Only thing is, just like China has recently approved for a digital currency, and they have put that in their area of operation. Similarly, one or two for the durability and all, our regulator may think of organized one on giving legality to the Bitcoin, or also bringing digital currency. But that in the offing, because in view of the Supreme Court direction, the government also have to look at. But all have to be careful about this investment. It can be a small portion of your investment, but this is my personal view. In a way, Bitcoin cannot, of course, it can become a commerce, trade commerce, in everywhere it is an exchange value. But you have to be little cautious while that coins are going for a hefty, like somebody earlier, no, Manoj, he mentioned, Jain, that it is $40,000, all that. These are all hype which is being created in the current scenario, but you have to be careful. This much I thought in between I'll intervene. Thank you, Manoj.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Narendra, for raising practical issues, discussing the Chinese issue, the US issue, and the India growth story is certainly on the agenda. And talking about Bitcoin, yesterday, one of the topmost channels, which claims to have viewership of over 50 crores, and part of the topmost company which raised huge money in 2020, shared on their channel after they got the link to our think tank webinar. Especially, they covered a small story on Bitcoin, and they mentioned how people in India can also legally trade in Bitcoins. That was a top story. After the top anchors, they got the link. Many of them have also joined from the top 5 channels. And when Aishwary Gupta connected with me late last evening, we requested him to add a few more slides, which we will discuss in the open house when we discuss real life examples. Very good story. Everybody knows what's happening in China and US. It is India leading the world in 2021 and beyond. We have been making very fast rise, as was mentioned by you in the finance and banking conclave. Also on the health front, we'll be providing health to the world and also wealth to the world, and the best in fintech. And we will set the best real life examples. Since we have the best talent in India, you mentioned about one name, Mr. Nandan Nelikani. There are many more in India who are budding entrepreneurs and ultimately can create wealth in billions of dollars. Wonderful. Mr. Gupta.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So let's start with what exactly is fintech. And before that, thank you so much for inviting me to the platform and for so many insightful things that have been told before me. So before we get into what exactly is fintech or something like that, let me take you to a story, or let me bring out a little bit of something where you can imagine all the things that are happening, and let me connect all those things which are happening with you. So let's start with fintech first. And when we are talking about fintech, and where we think there are a lot of statements that come in, they say, okay, banks are going to be replaced. Okay, this is going to be disrupted or something like that. But like I think earlier stated as well, these things are going to be a complement to whatever systems that are there, that are existing in this network. That is going to happen, and whatever things that are there. So let's let me picture it out for you. So today we have major the top 10 companies that are there across the globe. They're all tech companies. There is no single company which is just a finance company and it is going out. So what exactly is fintech? Fintech is basically a tech company which is getting into finance, and how they're trying to do it and how they're trying to change and bridge the gap which was existing in the today's world. So that is something that is very important to look at. Today, where banks were, so what exactly, earlier what we used to do in 1900s or later of, let's say earlier of 2000s, We were going to the bank, we were requesting them, we were abiding by the situations that were there, we were abiding, or we were requesting them, or we had to accept what they were offering. But this has changed. Today, I don't have to accept everything that the bank is saying, because there is a marketplace today. Earlier, the marketplace never existed. There was one single bank, and whatever the bank was saying, we had to go and accept it. Today, we have 100 solutions for that. So if one bank is not ready to give us at our terms, we have 99 other options. So that is why this gives us the basic competitive edge that has never been there in the market. And that is why fintech is something which is very much important and which is changing the scenarios under it. So firstly, it is just like a tech company which is getting into the finance. It is most of the biggest banks that were earlier there, that are still there in the top 10 or top 20 of the global list. They are going to be disrupted very soon. And if they're not collaborating, they are going down. Why I say that is because the technology that is there, the licensing necessarily is their bank. So bank will be getting at the back end, where their work would be to, let's say, a little bit of centralization, a little bit of having those licenses. But what the fintechs are going to do is they are going to take over that front end. So today, like what happens is the biggest banks that were there. So PayPal is there. So we yesterday only saw Elon Musk. He became the richest man on earth. So why has he become the richest man on earth? He has been envisioning. He was founding PayPal at the time where people were using debit cards. He was working on electric vehicles when people were thinking of petrol cars. And he has been thinking of going to Mars, and when we are trying to sustain on Earth. So that is something that his envision, and that is how he is making, and he is getting more and more traction and more funding and more success in his life, because he is leading the forefront of innovation that is there. And that is why innovation is very much important. And everything that was happening today, the cash economies, these cash economies are literally like from demonetization, we can already see a lot of things went digital. How the digitalization boomed just because of demonetization, that we have already seen, and the various things that came into picture by the government itself, by the policies that were bringing in. So they were important. Now, when we have low cash economies, what will happen is more and more digitization will happen, and the CBDCs, like we were talking about the digital yuan, which is being done by the Chinese government. So that is a very, very advanced step that they are doing. And this is something that they have been envisioning for the past 5 years. Now, why I say 5 years? Because they have actually laid out the groundwork for everything. They have their settlement centers across the globe, which when they started with the thought that, okay, this is something that we are doing to give benefit to our citizens. But now what they're trying to do is they are trying to create a central digital currency, which is going to take, which they are envisioning to take down US dollar itself from there. So they have that inversion, and with the loans and everything that they have given to the Asian countries, they're even forcing them to Asian and the African countries, they're even forcing them to get outside, use yuan instead of dollars. And because of the huge loans that these economies have taken, they are bound to do it later on. So this is one of the major things that China has been doing. And we also have to look at how the digital currencies have to go out and have to be there. So Indian government announced that they are planning to bring Lakshmi, that is a digital currency that is going to be there for India. But it is still in the planning phase right now. And the US, I think US has also started to feel the heat. The recent what recent Treasury or US government, what they did was, like 2 days before, they agreed to use stable coins for settlements. Now they are actually agreeing to use a crypto, a stable coin which is pegged to dollar, to be used in the settlement processes. Now, why they are doing it is because they do not have a central digital currency to move out and to regulate. And by the time they have it, most probably China is going to take them over. So this is a step which they have taken in the view that, okay, this is how we are going to compete in the digital world. And this is how we are going to still maintain that power in the real world. So that is what they're trying to do. And today, whatever is happening, the loans that usually the banks used to give. So you had that time frame, like someone discussed earlier as well, that we had a time frame, and in that time frame we had like 5 days or 7 days. Now I can tell you that at night at 2 a.m., if you want to take a loan, I can get you a loan in 5 minutes. You don't even need your credit score. You don't even need anything. You just need your collateral. That is it. No, not even your, sometimes the industries that are right now evolving, they don't even need a lot of documentation from you. So within 5 minutes, you can get a loan if you have a collateral. So that is how fast the fintech world is moving. And blockchain and AI are being the pillars of this movement, the decentralized finance that is getting into the picture. So all these things are happening, and all these things are trying to take back whatever, or you can say give the customers the benefit that they always deserve. They are giving you a fair market whereby you can have the competitiveness. These algorithms that were there earlier, where your credit score will define how much loan you can get or how many things that you can get, is something that is getting old school. People are looking at smart money. People are looking at how the people are spending their money. So if I'm earning something, what is my spending pattern? That is being looked out now. And this is how it is going to take over the credit bureaus that exist today. They are not required anymore to do the credit rating, because I am doing a spending and income analysis. I am seeing where you are doing. If you are doing some random expenses, or if you are spending your money with no logic and no legality, or no thought process, you might not get a good amount of loan. So that is more unique, and that is more true to the person through whom you're taking the loan. And startups, what they're also doing is they are interoperable. So if I have an account in HDFC, I cannot go to ICICI Bank and take a loan or withdraw money. But these, what they are trying to do is they are trying to create interoperability, where if you have money in one place, you can also withdraw that money from some other place. So this is something that is happening, where they are trying to create something, and through blockchain, this is getting enabled to a very large extent. I can take loan. I can use the liquidity present in one exchange, and I can use that liquidity in some other exchange as well. So that is something that is happening. The interoperability is something which is happening a lot. So you don't have to download hundreds of apps anymore later on. What you do is you download one app, and through that one app, you can do everything. So with the advancement of the mobile phones, with the deep pocketing of the major players, and with the more and more people getting into it, we are seeing that everyone is trying to get hold of it. And the APIs that are there, the fintechs that have enabled the API. So if I remember, I was working for some insurance work, and what they're trying to do is they are trying to link every insurance company, which was not possible, let's say 5 years back. But today what they're trying to do is they're trying to create an API. They're trying to create a platform through which you can go ahead and you can simply connect with everything that is happening around, and you can get all the data at one place. And that data is secure because of the blockchain technology that we have been adopting. And this is how the fintech is kind of being a tsunami in the today's world. And that is something that is going to disrupt everything that is happening. Banks, again, like I said, they will exist, but they will take a backseat. So that is how the whole fintech word is going to be there. Imagine it like a marketplace where you get everything. You enter, just enter into it, and anything that you can think of, you can do it. Even if you like, a small example is phone pay. You get into phone pay, and when you are in that phone pay, you can have your food, you can order your food, you can order medicines, or you can order anything that you're wanting to do, depending upon your respective city. That is API integration that they have been doing. And apart from that, if you even say Paytm, Google Pay, so what they're trying to do is they are trying to create their own mini world. And recently, when Google Pay announced, or the Google, this whole Android system, they announced that, okay, they are going to charge 30% tax, something like that. Paytm was kind enough, or you can say more adaptive enough, to come in and say that, okay, we are going to have our own mini store where you don't have to give the 30%. So India is going in the forefront. India is going to adopt in a way where we are not going to be fearing what the world is going to give us. We are going to be giving to the world, and we are there. We are adopting. We are the investments that are flowing in, let's say from outside and from within India. That is huge. I mean, the amounts that are flowing in, you can see the FIIs that are getting into the into the economy, and how abruptly, or how more and more funds are getting into the economy. So that is a clear indication that the economy of India is booming, and the young talent that is there in India is giving you all that power to move ahead and to see all those things. So that was a sneak peek about the fintech that is there. And a lot of people have already talked about what exactly is fintech and where we are seeing the problems. And like, even today, let's talk about a small sector. We have talked about banks, we talk about the insurance next. Let's say when we have insurance today, so what happens in insurance is, today, earlier what we used to do was we would rely on the people who were coming at our place, the agents that were there, and they would say all the good words and all the good things, and maybe we will buy that policy without even knowing that there is a better policy that is existing. This new technology and the new things that are coming in, the new websites that have been built in, where they have API integrated, everything everything, every insurance that is present there. So they, through that, they're trying to build in and give the customers the benefits. So in the end, only that will survive who is going to give you the maximum benefits. There is not going to be a monopoly. There is not going to be any other deriving force that is going to be there. It is just going to be the people who are there, who are using this, and who are getting the benefits of this. So that is how I think the fintech is going to change the world. I think that was about fintech, and one of the technology that fintech uses is blockchain. And on blockchain, so blockchain is, let's imagine an ocean. So ocean is something which is known as a digital DLT, distributed ledger technology. So that is something which is distributed. From that ocean, take out a river, which is known as blockchain. And from that blockchain, if you draw out a mug of water, that is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is that small in the ocean that is there of distributed ledgers, and of the river that is there for, you can say, blockchain. So coming to that, what exactly is blockchain and everything? Before we move to it, I have this one slide which I try to cover in every seminar that I go in all the CXO world. So in this image, you can see two pictures that are there in front of your screen, and these two pictures are not something different. These two pictures are the same bridges which were there, just that these two pictures have been taken just 20 years apart. And now this is like where I tell you that the bridges are us, people who are experienced in this industry, who have tons of experience and who are sitting at the top level, and they have all the good knowledge that one can hold. And similarly, like they were the building blocks, they were the bridges who were connecting the people, who were giving the benefits, who were giving everything out there. And similarly, like that bridge, because the river was flowing, if you have to cross, you needed these eminent people. Now what is happening is you still have that knowledge, you still have that thing, but the landscape is changing. In the two pictures, if you want to see, the landscape is changing. In the first, there was a river. So these, the usability or the knowledge that was there, that is still there. And through that knowledge, people are getting onboarded, people are embodying the things that are happening. But in the second one, if you see, the river has moved, which means simply that the landscape has moved and you still have the knowledge. But if you still are not adapting and you're still not understanding the technology that is out there, so this is something that is going to happen, that it is going to make a lot of people redundant, whereby I think Aditya sir also said in the earlier, change is something that we need to adapt, and change is something if we are doing, and then only we need a lot of reskilling, we need a lot of rescaling, and we need a lot of people to get into it, to understand all these things, and to adapt and make the economy one of the best in the world. So with that, I start all this, and I hope that makes clear why we need to change. This is something which is very important. And when we talk about this, let's talk about why exactly blockchain came into picture. So internet had, I'll just cover it up very quickly. So internet was there. Internet had all the functionalities. Internet made us talk to each other, connect each other. Today, if we are having this webinar, it is because of the internet. Most probably, if we were there offline, this would not have happened. So internet has given us a lot of things. Internet has helped us in reducing the cost of search, collaborations, and it has helped us reach the information pinpoints through anything and everything. But has internet given us all? The answer is absolutely no. Now, why I say that is, today, if we want to establish the identity, like today only in the meeting, like when Aditya and you pointed out that so many Aishwarys are coming into the meeting. So how do you know who is actually behind that screen? So internet cannot do that for you. Internet, and whatever someone is feeding you, they will have to just project it from there. So internet has not been able to establish the identity of someone whom you meet online. Maybe you have seen someone, and that is why there are so many online scams that happen. You see, if you talk about matrimony, there are so many guys who are just creating a fake profile, or a girl who's creating a fake profile and marrying 20 people. So all these things, that is still happening. So internet has not been able to give us that. And so another thing is the trust that we need. So how do we trust you? So if you have to make me a payment, how do you trust me? You don't. What you do is you use a third party through which you're going to make a payment. If I send you a direct link, you will think that, okay, this might be a fraud, or this might be something which is not true. So we need a third party to do it. And that third party, like if you just talk about payments or any landscape, let's say if we talk about Uber, what is exactly Uber? Uber is an aggregator. If we talk about Ola, Uber, Airbnb. What exactly is Airbnb? We say that these people do not have anything. Exactly, they do not have anything, and we're still paying them 25% of the money that actually goes out. 25%. That is huge. And why should we be paying them? What have they given us? They've just given us a website, or they've just given us a facility. Okay, agreed. But the property does not belong to them, or the car doesn't belong to them. The conditions and the terms that they're trying to put on the people who are getting onboarded, that is not something that they can do, because it is not their property at all. So this thing has not been able to be done by the internet itself, and this is where the blockchain comes in. And even like 2.5 billion people out of the, it is like 30% of the people are still not connected to the financial system. When internet came into picture, I think 40 years back, it came with a promise that, okay, we are going to level the wealth creation and we are going to give equal opportunity. But have they given it to you? I mean, if you talk about Facebook, if you talk about the bigger giants like Google, they have used our data and they have monetized it. If today we are seeing something online, what we are seeing is, if you talk about something, after 10 minutes you see ads. Is there any privacy left? The answer is absolutely no. And for that, what we are doing is, if we are browsing content, we are paying for it. We are like, for example, if you have a music on YouTube, what happens is people, if that is a good music, people copy it, modify it, and put it on YouTube. And once that is there, they, with the help of SEO, they promote their content. And sometimes if you find music online, you will not see the original composer at the first end. You will see another composer that is there in the second end, who is going ahead and who is doing all the things. And because of that, his views are increasing, and he puts an ads there. So what is the original composer getting? He's not getting anything. Instead, someone else, for his own hard work, is getting the benefit from here. So that is why internet has been there. It was very good for information transmission, information sharing. Bang on, internet did its very great job. But when it comes to moving the value ahead, that value that you need to move, that you cannot do it from the internet. That is why you need something which is so much trusted that you don't need any verification or something like that. And hence blockchain comes into picture. That is, and blockchain is just like a second layer over the internet, which is enabling movement of funds creation. And over $20 billion has already been digitized and has moved online. Over $20 billion. And that is the last week's figure, 5 days from now. And there you can see movement of houses, properties that is happening. Dubai has come up with its own online property transfer. You can transfer property within 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours. Today, if you want to transfer a property in India, imagine the number of months we take. We have to go for verification. We have to talk to so many parties and so many people that are there. And that is such a huge cumbersome process. In Dubai, what they have tried to do is they've simply put everything on blockchain. They have integrated the regulatory authorities. They've integrated the insurance companies. They have regulated the banks. So on one platform, you're seeing a single property, who is the owner, who is the lawful owner, and who is there any electricity dues or water dues that are pending to, or have you paid the stamp duty? Is there a mortgage on that? So if that everything is possible on one platform and the government is endorsing it, so that is something that actually brings in the power. 4 months versus 4 hours. That is a huge change. That is a very huge change that is happening. And India is also working on it. The government agencies, they are working on digitizing the land records. Once that is done, this is also a solution that is going to come into India. But this is right now live in Dubai. And that is something that makes us feel that, yes, blockchain is a very good solution for a lot of problems that are there. But when I say that, another thing that I say is blockchain is not the solution for everything. That is a myth that people have in their mind, that blockchain is a solution for everything. And if you have a problem, put a blockchain on it. The answer is absolutely no, because blockchain is a technology which is good, but which is very expensive as of now. There are very few people who can actually code and who can actually. So in India, if you talk about India, there are around 10,000 professionals who can actually talk about blockchain, who can give you the knowledge, who can build solutions on blockchain. And that is very less. Out of a population of 125 CR, we have 10,000 people who can do it. So if obviously the demand and the supply that is there, you can see how much is that impacting the whole ecosystem. And that is why it is very much expensive. And that is not a solution for everything. Now, quickly, I'll go ahead and I'll talk about a little bit about what is blockchain. And I want to give this to you in so simple language that if anyone asks you what exactly is blockchain, you can explain it to them very easily. So let's imagine we all are senior professionals. So we have all worked in corporates, or we are managing the corporates ourselves. We all go for corporate parties, right? So we are going to the corporate parties and we are enjoying the parties, and there is an admin who is controlling all that, who is managing all that. But have you listened, sometimes there are a lot of people who say that I think the expense was not this much, and they have inflated that expense and submitted for approval, and these professionals or these people who are organizing it, they are eating up the money. And this is something that you always hear. So let's take an example from there, because this is something that everyone in their corporate life had seen this. So here, let's say we have something called an app called, let's say, Google Sheets. So in Google Sheets, what happens? So Google Sheet is not a blockchain solution. Just that to make you understand what exactly the solution means, I'm taking this example. So Google Sheet, what happens in Google Sheet is you basically, well, let's say there are 10 people who are organizing get together. So what you do is just add all those 10 people in the with their email IDs, and they will get immediate notification. Now, what happens is, let's say someone is booking the cab. So as soon as he books his cab, he uploads his evidence on that Google Sheet. So what will happen is not one single party will have that data. Now the 10 parties are going to have that data. Everyone is going to have that data. And as soon as that is uploaded, everyone can see it. So it is in public view of everyone. Everyone is seeing it. And everyone has the right to edit it. But if you are editing it, others are also seeing. Now, when others are also seeing it, so you cannot just manipulate that data. Why? If you will manipulate that data, others will automatically be notified that this data has been manipulated. So you cannot manipulate the data. And let's say out of the 10 people, one person loses his mobile. So no problem, 9 people still have your data. So that is again something which is wonderful, which is decentralized. So it is managed by a lot of people. And then whatever you are uploading, whatever evidence you are uploading, everyone is able to see it. All those 10 people who were there in this network, they were able to see it. So, and every time you upload it, there is a timestamp that is there. So it will tell you at this time, this data was uploaded. So today, let's say you upload a bill of food for 100 rupees and later on you modify it to 1,000 rupees. So people will know, yes, you have modified it, because the timestamp is going to be there. So similarly is blockchain. Blockchain is basically, in the most simplest terms, a timestamp series where you can see everything, every data that is there on a timestamp series. Second, it is immutable record of data, like unlike Google Sheet where you can go and edit. Once you have put anything on the block, which is later on put on the chain, you cannot go ahead and you cannot edit that data. And it is managed by a cluster of computers. Like I said, 10 people were there who were managing that data. So similarly, blockchain, and if we personally just talk about Bitcoin has over 100,000 such users who have this copy of data. So corrupt one, corrupt two, how will you be able to corrupt 100,000 people? So that is impossible. So that is why we have that much faith in this technology. And Bitcoin is something which is, as I told, it's a mug in the ocean of blockchain. But this Bitcoin is the only technology that exists on Earth whose security enhances every day. For everything that comes online, for every new software that comes online, with every day, their security degrades. And that is why they have to update their security every now and then. And that you would have seen every time you download an app, within 2 days or 3 days, there is an update coming. Why that is coming in? Because new and new vulnerabilities are getting exploited. So that is happening. But Bitcoin is one technology which is getting more and more secure with every passing day. And why I say that is because more and more people are going ahead and being a node. If these 100,000 people are getting and becoming 100,000 people, that means now the security is managed by 100,000 people. And it is open for all. You can go ahead and you can become a part of the security. So this technology is something, that is why we have so much trust in the system that is bridging in. That is why we have people from BlackRock, we have people from JP Morgan, who in 2016 turned this technology as useless, are now being the forerunners of saying that this is going to be a milestone that we are going to achieve. This is going to be the next big thing and all those things. And people, Jamie Dimon, who was like in 2016 criticizing and saying Bitcoin as one of the most useless technology in the world, is now saying that yes, this could reach up to 146,000. So I'm not talking about the price points here, but this is something of a technology that is getting out and that is changing the world how we see it. So that is there. So and this data is not owned by a single entity. There are 100,000 people who are owning it, and you can become one. All you have to do is you have to just download the software and the content, which is right now around 225 GB. That is it. That is exactly what you need today to download, to have the whole copy of Bitcoin network. So that easy. And this network has no central authority because we don't need a central authority to judge it. The consensus mechanisms that are built in through it are going to be the way through which we are getting this change and this democratized system that is getting built. You don't need a central authority to overlook it. Why? Because the decentralized people who are there, they are looking over it. And why they are looking over it is because of the monetary benefit that they are trying to get. Today, if you are mining one Bitcoin, or if you are approving one block, you're putting one block, you're getting 6.25 BTC, which is right now around 2.5 CR for one block. That is, and per hour right now, the miners are earning $33 million per hour, not per day, per hour. So that is how much they're trying to earn, and why, how they're, because if they are earning such thing, they will never try to betray such a system, because they're earning huge amount from that. And that is the gaming theory that has been built in blockchain. The gaming theory that says that you will be rewarded if you do the good work, and you will be penalized if you do not do the good work. So you don't need a central authority anymore. Why? Because central authority was like someone who was looking over it, but the game theory has changed this way. You don't need that central authority anymore. And it is a shared and immutable ledger. You cannot, once anything has been put on a block, you cannot go ahead and you cannot edit it. This technology is something where you cannot edit anything. So, and the information is open for everyone. If you're working on a public blockchain, if you want to see the network of Bitcoin, if you want to see the network of Ethereum, if you want to see major like Binance coin, on all those major coins that are there, they're all public ledgers, and you can go ahead, you can see all those data that is present. So there is no something like today, what happens, there is something called an insider trading. Here, you cannot do an insider trading, because as soon as you do a transaction, which others are not doing, maybe because the information moves slowly, but the money moves fast. So here, what you can do is you can immediately see who has done a major trade. So you can also get into it with that trend. So there is no more insider trading here. And since you cannot edit it, the audit trail is perfect. You cannot go ahead and you cannot edit it. So the audit trail is perfect. The finance professionals that were there, who were earlier thinking that we have to do 10 types of audits. And after doing that audit, we say that we have done the sample-based audit. We have, if you go to audit Airtel, let's say, when you're doing an audit of Airtel, you are actually going out, and what you're doing, you cannot test 10 million transactions per day for Airtel. So you will obviously say that it is something which is where you have taken a sample-based auditing. And we employ so many resources that there are 100 chartered accountants who are working on verifying the authenticity. Now, with the help of smart contracts which run on Ethereum network, or which is a product of blockchain again, what you do is you can just audit the smart contract, which is a one-man job. Let's say there are 100 smart contracts, you need 5 men to do it. Here, with that, you have 100% authenticity. There is no more sample-based auditing. It is near real time, so everything is getting updated. If the government wants to see whether there is any tax that is getting levied, or whether the taxes have been paid properly or not, they don't have to wait for some authority to approve it, because this technology is doing it on itself. So that is there. And because of this, I see that blockchain is going to be the major disruptor. It is already disrupting it, and a lot of corporate houses to whom I meet and we have discussions, they're all wanting to get onto this technology. There, as a function, as consulting, what I do is, this is something where they go ahead and they understand why exactly is the technology better, and how this technology can make their products better. So that is why blockchain is something which is very disruptive and which is changing the world, how we see it. And there's one line that is said about blockchain is it is disrupting the disruptors of 2000. So all these disruptors, Uber, Airbnb, and I remember one of the TED Talks in which Mr. Bindra is an employee under Mahindra, Mr. Mahindra. So Mr. Mahindra and Mr. Bindra were visiting US, and at that time, Mr. Bindra was talking to him, and he said that Bindra, this is a technology that is going to disrupt who have disrupted us. So Mahindra and Mahindra was disrupted by let's say Uber and Ola. Their sales and everything was disrupted by them. And reading this technology, Mr. Anand Mahindra, he said that this is going to be the technology which is going to bring back everything that was taken away from us by these major, you can say, players in the world. So if that is something that is being claimed by someone that high, that, and Mr. Mahindra has started to invest in a lot of blockchain startups itself. If you would have seen recently, there was some news that he was investing in 2-3 startups. So these all people, they have understood the technology and they're all wanting to get into this as soon as possible. I'll hang on if we have any small questions or something like that before we move ahead to the industry specific.
Actually, there are several questions. It's better you continue because the flow is good and you are talking interesting. And people, we can park the question for towards the end, so that it does not break the flow. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So that is what exactly it is. And there are three. Before I go ahead, I'll say there are 3 industries. And believe me, if you are in one of them, you are already being touched by blockchain in one way or another. And that is the promise. And if you are someone who has not used these 3 industries, please let me know, because out of that, like 10,000 or 20,000 people that I have earlier said these things to, I have not got an exception. So let's start with that thought process in our mind. And the first one is insurance. So insurance has been one of the forerunners, and with some of the companies in India itself or abroad, the insurance sector is booming a lot. Now, a very good example which is there, which was done by AXA in Europe, and which they named as Fizzy. So what they tried to do was they tried to automate the payments of late flight movement. So let's say if you booked a flight today, who you want to go to US, and when you're going to US, let's say your flight gets delayed. Similarly, like when you're wanting to go from one place to another from Indian Railways and the rail gets delayed. So what you have to do is you have to file TDR, and you have to get into a lot of places. You have to go to the window sometimes if you have taken the physical ticket, and you have to fight that this is late and you want a refund or something like that. But here what they tried to do with the help of smart contracts, they automated the whole process. What happens is as soon as you take the particular insurance, online, you tell them what exactly is the ticket that you have purchased, pay the premium, and once that is done, what you do next is, as soon as your flight gets delayed, so there is a time limit that they say that if your flight is 2 hours late, we will pay 25% of the ticket fee. If your flight is 4 hours late, we will pay, let's say, 50%. If your flight is cancelled, we pay 100% back to you. So this is something which happens automatically. So let's say as soon as 2 hours happen and your flight has not departed, automatically in your bank account, you get the money itself. No more intermediaries, no more people, no more claim filing, nothing at all. Automatic, as soon as 2 hours complete, you get the money. Now this is getting enabled through the help of smart contracts, and smart contracts are able to connect with the outside world itself. They do not have to, it is like they work on very simple condition. What if, then if. So let's take even a simpler example. You want to pay $1,000 to someone, let's say every month, $100 per month. Today, what you have to do is you have to set up an escrow, you have to talk to a lawyer, you have to set up a separate fund account where you will deposit $1,000. And every month there will be a check that is getting that you have signed, that will be put into the system through in your bank. And then that $100 is going from one place to another. Now, what I do is I simply build this system on the smart contract itself. What I do is I tell the smart contract, look out for the date as soon as it is the first of the month, start a pay, give this payment of $100 from this fund, which I already have, to this account. The smart contract is going to do it until and unless you have balance in that account. Or if you define next 12 months, it is going to do that payment for the next 12 months. So what all funds that you set up today, you don't need any escrows, you don't need any agents to do it. You don't need to pay them 10% of the fees that you are trying to give. So all these things are happening. The parametric insurance is also something that has recently come up and is being developed by one of the insurance providers. I cannot name it right now because of the NDA, but they're trying to create one of the solutions through which what will happen is, today, if you're working anywhere you're working and you have taken an, let's say, revenue insurance. So revenue insurance is basically where if you lose your revenue, or you are compensated for that. Or let's say you're taking a stock insurance. So every time you will not have the same stock. Let's say if it is a time of Diwali, you will have very high stock. And let's say if that is, let's say, something of a June or July, maybe you do not have that stock. So all these things earlier were not being able to calculate by human intervention. The humans were deciding, and that is why there were a lot of flaws. Sometimes you impress the person who is giving you the claim, and you claim a little bit higher. So there were a lot of frauds that were happening, and that is true to and that is known to everyone. Now, what this parametric insurance does is, he takes in your inventory automatically for the past 4 years, or let's say from whenever you have started business, or let's say similar businesses. If you are just a new entrant, you take it from similar businesses who were there, and they are actually on real time assessing what exactly is your stock that is there, and based on that, actual algorithms are getting run. So if you are actually, let's say, if your storehouse catches fire, let's say on a month of July, they are going to pay you, let's say, X amount. And if this is happening on a Diwali day, this might be, let's say, multiplied by 2 or 3 based on whatever your inventory has been in the past. So this is more accurate. This is more something where you don't have to put in your mental pressure or mental exposure. You don't have to wait for anyone. You don't have to feel that, okay, this is how I have to react in front of the assessing officer. This is how I have to please him. If he's angry, he's not going to give me the claim, something like that. You don't have to do it anymore. Automatically, all this thing is assessed. And this is something, even in insurance sector, the government is doing it. The government recently has collaborated with World Economic Forum. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to do this for agriculture. Now imagine I, as a farmer, I am a farmer, let's say, I go to my bank, I take an insurance on my crop. Now what blockchain does is, blockchain is integrating everything. Now try to understand it. It is very simple. Now what blockchain is trying to do is it is trying to integrate this. And at that point of time, what blockchain will do is, as soon as I take the insurance, that insurance data is sent to the government. And from that government database, I have created an API, let's say a link through that government database. So every time someone is taking an insurance, that insurance data is coming to me. Second, I have connected with the ISRO, which is the space organization of our country. We have connected with ISRO. We have connected with the forecasting departments, and we have connected with the insurance company because someone has taken an insurance. So all that on one platform. Now what happens later on is, let's say 2 months down the line, there is the forecast comes automatically, which says that there is going to be a drought in this region. As soon as that alarm is triggered, data is sent to ISRO. ISRO verifies this data through his satellites that are revolving across the globe. Once ISRO pinpoints that this is going to be the area that is going to be affected, this data is coming back to the platform. Now, because I already have the data of the insurers to whom from the insurance company and from the bank to whom I have insured, they are seeing who is going to be impacted. And within the fraction of a second, as soon as the news has come out, you see the money coming into your bank accounts. Now imagine this process. So my father has been working in the banking system, and so he has been covering rural sectors. And my father tells me that this is something that takes 5 to 6 months sometimes. 5 to 6 months versus 5 to 6 hours. That is the power that blockchain is bringing in. That is the power that smart contracts are bringing in. So this is something that has been already developed. The World Economic Forum is working with the Indian government, and they're already working on implementing it. The infrastructure is getting ready. And through that digital land records, they are getting to know who exactly is the owner of that land. So automatically that fund is flowing automatically to that person who has been impacted. You don't have to go to the babus or the zamindars or anyone to see whether this is or ask money from them. There is no scope for, you can say, corruption here, because money did not land up anywhere in the intermediary space. It directly went to your bank account. There is no one controlling it. And that is the power of automation, and that is the power of the technology, where you eradicate everything which can be corrupt, which can be somewhere like where you can go ahead and say that, okay, this money can be used from here, this money can be sourced out from here. So you're killing that all. That is what is the power of this technology. And micro insurances are coming into picture. So today, if I'm going to, let's say, I want to travel to Delhi or I want to travel to Mumbai, and I'm doing it via road. So there are fintechs that are working, like say Toffee Insurance. So what you do is you simply log in, you take your insurance from point A to point B whenever you're traveling. And if that insurance covers whatever things, if anything happens in the course of day, you automatically get reimbursed from the company itself. You don't have to file a form. You don't have to do anything. You just have to say, okay, I met with an accident. So whatever that is happening, this is how this insurance sector is getting creative, and this is how more and more insurance products are getting into the market. Because earlier the products could have been developed. I'm not saying that the brains are working now. Earlier the brains would have not worked. Earlier the technology was not there. Today it is there. So if the technology is getting there, you are able to do a lot of things that are getting into this structure. The reinsurance that is happening. So reinsurance, there are various startups that are working on reinsurance, whereby what they do is they connect all the all the insurance and the reinsurance companies, and the movement of funds and the process that is happening, you can say whatever the policy creation, claim processing, everything that is getting digitized. So the money is flowing automatically without any risks, without any delays, without any ados. So whoever has to get this money lawfully, they're getting it automatically. So that is on insurance, and I hope everyone has an insurance. So this is something where I would have covered everyone already. And the next one is basically after insurance is stock market. So today, let's imagine a scenario where you want to buy an Apple share. How do you do it? You first of all open an account, let's say in an international share broking market. Let's say you go for Robinhood, you open an account in Robinhood, then you need an international bank account, then you need to complete your formalities, then you have to buy US dollars, and then you have to send that US dollars to your US bank account, and then you have to make a purchase. Now I knew that, let's say for example, that I knew that Tesla was coming up with a new model, and that would be more disruptive. But this is something which is going to be told to the public 2 days from now. So if the public will know, the price will automatically increase. In the process today, what I have to do is I have to wait for a month. So even if I have the information, I cannot benefit from it. Now there's an exchange which was one of the forerunners, or one of the person who had given one of the biggest funding to the Biden, you can say Biden elections. That is FTX exchange. So FTX exchange is one of the major contributors. He was the 6th biggest contributor in Biden's campaign. And what he has done is he has tried to create digital assets. So if you right now, if I want to buy an Apple share, I can. Today is a Saturday. I don't have to care about it. Today I am sitting in India. The US market is not open. I don't have to care about it. I just have $100, and let's say Tesla share is $500. I don't care about it. I can have a fractional ownership of the Tesla share within 5 or 10 minutes. Once I create that account, and creation of account just needs completion of your KYC, which is another like 4-5 minutes. So within 10 minutes, I can go ahead and I can hold $100 worth of digitized Tesla share with me. 1 month versus 5 minutes. So this is how the technology is evolving. This is how, Binance, which is one of the biggest world exchange on cryptocurrency, they are about to go public, and they have filed their paperwork with SEC. And now today, if I want to buy a share of Binance, I can simply go out and buy that share through these exchanges, and the share has not even come into the market. But I still can own something on it, and later on, as soon as it is going to be listed, from there, what I can do is I can benefit from the profits. This is something that is absolutely new, and this is something that is absolutely revolutionary. Why not? Because and voting. So when Biden and Trump elections were going on, the crypto market, or the predictive augmentative market that was there, that was able to predict the outcome way better than the whole US media, who has been there for the last 200 years, versus a new market which has just evolved over past 5 years. We had futures running for Biden and Trump, and their people. So this is where, if you are putting your money with where your mouth is, you are actually giving out the real answer. There, the media was actually, whatever it was doing, whether it was getting the wrong data or it was manipulating, that is not something I want to go into. But this is where I tell you that this market, the crypto market, the augmentative or the predictive market that was there, it was able to predict the outcomes way before the actual outcome came into picture. So these technologies are bringing in a lot of things, and the EFTs that are right now getting listed in US, a lot of fund managers are getting into it. And that is why when we were talking about this price rise that is happening on Bitcoin, the supply is limited. And if the supply is limited and everyone wants to buy it, there is a very, very, very big demand that is getting created, but the supply is very limited. All that is getting generated into the market, all the Bitcoins that are getting generated into the market, they are being absorbed. If we talk about the month of December, there were 23,000 Bitcoins that were created. 76,000 Bitcoins left the market, left the whole ecosystem. That means I created one thing and there were 3 things that were taken out, which means the earlier supply that was there in the market, that is getting soaked up. And who is soaking this up? This is not retail investors. This is not some you and I who has let's say 10, 100 lakh rupees. This is someone who has billions of dollars. These are fund managers who are putting in the money, which is huge. So that is why there is no one who is withdrawing this money. They're just sucking up that supply that is still available in the market. And every time a dip is coming in, so there are wide fluctuations. So if you have seen the last movement, which was 34,000, and as soon as it touched 34,000, it went back to 29,000. People did not worry about losing money. People were, as soon as it reached 29,000, there were more buying that were coming in. So this all stock market that is there, that is coming real time. So the settlements that we have today, we need, and first of all, if we talk about Indian, let's say stock markets, first we need a demat account of intermediary. Then we need NSE, BSE. Then we need settlement centers. We have 3 intermediaries, and we have a whole amount of charges that are coming in when we buy such things. Now, let's talk about no such settlement centers, no NSDL, no CDSL, just no requirement of a demat account, just a wallet through which you can simply purchase. And when you are purchasing today, what happens is you are getting a T+2 day settlement. Here, that settlements are happening at T+2 seconds. 2 days versus 2 seconds. So every time I'm telling you from months to days, from hours to seconds, that is how this is going, that is how this is getting reduced, and that is how this is disrupting things. And when this is happening, what is happening is the intermediaries that were there, the intermediaries that ever existed, who were there, who were doing the insurance sales, or who were sitting there as a broker and all those things, they are getting moved out. They are getting kicked out of the ecosystem. And that is why, in the starting, it was said, we need to upgrade ourselves, and we need to understand how this technology is doing so much, and why this technology is so much important. So that is the second one. And the third one, the banking industry. Let's talk about banking. What exactly banks give you? Banks give you a loan. I can get you a loan at 2 a.m. without any human intervention at whatever amount you want, just that you need to have collateral. I don't need a bank anymore. Second, your credit scores. I don't need a credit score because I am giving in my collateral. If I'm giving in my collateral, why do I need a credit score for me? I have my collateral. If I'm not paying up, they will take it from the collateral itself. So no more Nirav Modis, no more Vijay Mallya's that are coming in and who are having an impact on bad debts that are there in the market, because you already have a collateral there. So, and this is automated. So even if it is a Prime Minister of India, he cannot manipulate the system, because the system is running on codes. System is not running on human intervention, and system is not running on human emotions. This is all digital. Here, if you have custodial services, who is keeping my things? The banks are keeping it. I can give you that. If you talk about the infrastructure that is getting built, the infrastructure is getting built online without the need of human interventions. Exchange and liquidity is present on so many exchanges, which is completely decentralized, where there is no central authority putting it. Why? The codes are doing it for them. Investing activities, if you want to invest, like I told you, if you want to invest in a Tesla share, you don't need to get into the stock market anymore. I can still get you that Tesla share or Reliance share or whatever share that you're wanting to do, just that they need to be digitized once. Then KYC and identity. KYC verification can be done online through your through your wallets, etc. You don't need a bank to do that anymore. Derivative markets. Such a huge derivative market exists for Bitcoin today. The market cap for Bitcoin or all the cryptocurrencies has already exceeded $1 trillion. So that is something that has already been there. And marketplaces, if you want to talk about marketplaces that are there, prediction markets, insurance, credit lending, what exactly is left for the banks to do? Just that they want to have they can put in our locker services that are there. But I am still not saying that the banks are going to be removed. This is somewhere where all the loopholes or all the you can say issues that were existing in the banking system, DeFi, which is decentralized finance, is going to take over all the things that are being there, which can be understood and inserted here. So DeFi is the new industry that is booming in. And with that, I can say that right now there are just 1 million users, but the commitment that DeFi has already seen. In February 2020, the commitment was 700 million. Can you guess what is the commitment today? I just saw it before I entered into the webinar. It's over $20 billion. 700 million to $20 billion. That is the growth that this has seen. So this is not something which is small. No, this is not at all small. And here there are just 1 million users. We have 7.8 billion population. Just 1 million is here. And with that 1 million, we have 20 billion worth of creation that has already happened in this. Imagine when more people are going to come in. So again, that through that we see that DeFi space is going to change all the banking things that are happening, and this is how the fintechs are going to take over, and the banking system is going to take a backseat. They're not going to extinguish; they're going to take a backseat. And all the industries, this is just a presentable slide where I tell you where exactly the blockchain has been adopted, like in the banking systems, the real estate, the healthcare, education. Today we have so many fraudulent certifications that are going on. In India, we have at least 10.
Aishwary Gupta, I would just share, banking system will not take a back seat. The system would remain. Fintech will just be a part of the system. Simple. It is like the humans don't take a back seat. They may go to Mars and all the other planets. And also, we talk about intellectual intelligence, etc. But ultimately, it is controlled by humans. So as long as lending is there, banking is the process of receipts and payments of money. So the process will remain. Fintech will be a part of the system. Fin is what? Finance and technology. Finance, banking is a part of finance. Technology would always remain an enabler and a tool. Of course, entrepreneurs, fintech will flourish. So it's good. So the message comes out clearly, wonderful.
I think I totally agree with Manoj because it was very interesting hearing Aishwary, but I completely agree with what Manoj is saying. As long as there is credit, I don't think it can replace credit at any point in time, because credit has become complex. It has not become simple. I totally agree with Aishwary that there'll be a lot of tools which will be available going forward for the credit manager. He will be far more comfortable and confident in taking that credit. But I think at least I mean, understanding what you are saying also, I think machines can't replace humans. I mean, that's my view. I think
what I just want to add that you know, the banks or NBFCs, I think they have to take the choice whether they want to be the disrupted or they want to be the disruptor. So, you know, one of the choices they will take. If they want to be disrupted, they don't want to change, I think you will find them in Jurassic Park over a period of time. And if they definitely come out with the changes, I think they will flourish. But I see, you know, many people, since they already have their existing business so large that for them to transform takes 5 years. And for 5 years, you know, you have to do your existing business also, and you have to digitalize your new, so get transform into a digital business. I think that choice and that time, I think is where the bigger question comes. So I believe not what Aishwarya is saying, but I believe the banks will have to really work hard, because now there will be new guys. I won't be surprised if Google or Facebook will become, or Apple will become a bigger financial company than current JP Morgans and all. So we should be very watchful, and it's a very interesting time. So I think this is a real shift. This is the next shift of internet, maybe internet 4.0 or whatever you call it. There are a lot of you know, information available. I don't want to speak on that, but I think it's going to be revolutionary, and we should participate actively and accept it first. First, if your mindset is positive, I think you can take the advantage.
Mr. Rajendra Wadhera is here. Rajendra, can you share a few thoughts?
I feel Aishwary is on the dot what he says, because I've been in the stockbroking industry.
Hello, one request, please share your name and company name. That will be beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, actually, I'm a stockbroker from PRB Securities, the director of this company. I just resigned 15 days back, but with 35 years of experience, I can only tell you that when we used to go to the floor, there was a limitation of transactions we could do. But I feel Mr. Gupta is 100% right in telling me, because once we in fact went to the stock exchange and closed on the stock exchange for a month, just not to allow all this. But what we saw is now that millions of people now have joined this the entire system just because of the technology. And I feel what Gupta is saying is 100% right, that this slowly and slowly, because we have a mindset of not accepting things, but those who have accepted earlier were the biggest beneficiary today. Like you have, once you do a transaction in the stock exchange, you used to earlier write on a small book of it, that is known as a chopri actually used to say. Now 30 years down the line, we don't need to just put a button. It's timestamp, rate, everything, code number, everything is there. You don't have to look anything. Just at the end of the day, even when you finalize the entire thing, it is done within 3 minutes. You know, the exchange shuts at 3:30 and entire process is completed within 10 minutes of us, and we send to the institution all contracts within 15 minutes. So what Mr. Gupta is saying is right, but only point is that we have to be extra vigilant in adapting the things and not refusing it.
Wonderful insights, Rajendra ji. I would just like to add, Rajendra ji is contributes regularly to Bloomberg also, and he is always has been a participant on a market think tank, and will be having a wonderful insights on the Nifty charts and many other charts from Rajendra in the open house. Wonderful, superb. Aishwary Gupta, please go ahead.
I still feel that whatever Mr. Aishwary Gupta is saying, my mind is refusing to accept it, but inside my soul, I am 100% with him.
So we see good times for India, the India growth story. Wonderful.
Yeah, because we have the software. What he said is a lack of software people in India. Was only a few people among the 1.3 billion people which are there. But once we understand how great is the way forward from here, more and more people will join.
Wonderful insight for India growth story.
I would also like to join. Hello.
Yes. Wonderful. We have been waiting for you.
Yeah. Rohit here. Aishwary, I was just listening to this. This is very interesting. I fully buy your idea. There are only few things I want to just deliberate on. This is at an evaluationary current status is only it's an evaluation. It has to settle down. There are quite a few things that needs to be looked into. First is basically the regulation and other thing. Bitcoin, you see the history it started. It is basically for those people who want to hide. There are people who are against regulation and other thing. I am also one of those. Why I should pay tax? It started with that. If you see the history, the person who started is it why a person should need to have a exchange regulation. Why if I want to have a dollar, or why if I have a rupee, why I need to convert, I need to pay to mediator. So now things are changing. Everybody is now, trend is with Google coming in. If you read books like books on Google and other things, the revolutionary idea currently is people don't like mediators, be it anywhere. See,
Right.
bank, till the time bank is a mediator, it will not work. What Manoj Bhai rightly said, see, these things cannot be replaced. It's only the mediation work where you are doing as an intermediary, where you're not adding any value added services. It can be done directly. Like what is happening for various things which you have seen. So all those things are changing. So things will change, things will evolve. Bitcoin is too early. See, Bitcoin will see the impact when it actually gets into in a real steam. See, things are happening. There are quite a few things that is happening in blockchain, but it will not impact till the time. It will still, I feel it will take few years, at least a decade to settle down where it will really be a disruptor. See, currently it is also evolving how it will have, because we have various issues. For blockchain, if I go to blockchain, there are quite a few things because this is disintegration. So you need to have these many pockets where you need to centralized or decentralized. See, there is an investment. So there should be capability for decentralization. There are quite a few issues which is still to be answered very properly. So I feel this is very good trend. We should be really ready for this. It is always good that we have this forum where people are thinking about this. We should never close our eyes, because I am also a banker. We look into these things. If we close our eyes, then what will happen? We will not see that this is coming, and suddenly it will come. So I fully agree on that. There is one more point I wanted to deliberate on. If you can focus on the regulatory aspects. where it is. See, Bitcoin currently, if you hear, currently people say, how will I? Because Bitcoin is not for everybody. Currently also, because there are quite a few people, this is something called illegal money that is coming. So it has been branded like this. The perception, if you ask, I'm dealing in Bitcoin, somebody will say, boss, kahin aur se paisa aaya. So this perception, it takes time to change, and it is not, and it is very difficult to evolve out of it, to totally remove it. In fact, it should not happen. The one of the issue which everybody is seeing with the rise, it should happen, it should not happen ki this becomes a channel for the illegal money or the unauthorized money. If that happens, then regulation will again come back. It's like a cycle. So still it is an evolutionary phase. Things has to change. We have to look into very carefully. Otherwise, what will happen? The authorities and other will try to seize it.
Hi everyone.
These are my thoughts. I just quickly thought I'll try to summarize.
Wonderful insights, Rohit. You have always been a significant contributor and a super achiever in the think tank conferences and webinars, and also an expert on this area, and also significantly contributing to the best wealth creator in the world and in India. That is a wonderful thing. Significant issues raised and continuous contributions from you, and great wealth creation will continue to be created in such companies where you have been contributing. Wonderful insights, Rohit and Ramesh too. Wonderful issues, practical issues raised. Ramesh, excellent insights and expertise in ratings. You have rated practically all the companies and rating, the top banks, top NBFCs, and practically know the who's who of the board and the CFOs. Wonderful insights coming in this session. Practical issues, wonderful. All the regulatory issues also will be covered on Bitcoin, so people can continue to utilize the opportunity. Option is available of creating wealth through an asset class, which we earlier talked about in the wealth creation series. It's an asset class. You have opportunity, and many people have been doing it, and that is also being covered practically in the open house. Lots more to come.
And just one line I'll add. So when we talk about the illegal money, so Bitcoin is the way where we can track and do everything, and illegal money cannot move on Bitcoin. We can properly track everything on Bitcoin network. So that is just one thing that I wanted to add. So you cannot say that later on that illegal money is coming and we cannot track it. Bitcoin is one of the most efficient way in which we can track this money, provided you know how to track it. That is the only ask, and this is a technology. The money that happens, the worst case is cash movement. Cash you cannot track. Bitcoin, even if I send you 1 rupee, you can track that for life. So this is something. Once there are a lot of fintechs that have come in who are putting in analytics on this, and through that analytics what they're trying to do is even a single penny that is moving, they can track you.
Both digital and cash can be tracked. It depends on the tracker and the intention, and whether you want to expose the person indulging in those transactions. Yeah, Rohit, please.
I basically wanted to say I agree what Aishwary is saying. I'm aware of that. Only thing is it is faceless. So that is where the issue is. Currently, if you read, I know that it can be tracked, but tracking has to be when you know who it is, where it is. So this is what the things are still evolving. I'm just putting up. I'm at all. My starting point was totally that only. Ki technology which is going to enable, but still there are quite a few things that is settled. So it's face. See, till the time it is faceless, you don't know. So people try to venture that you can track everything, but tracking whom, when, where, how, all these things are bit unanswered currently.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Uncomfortable.
I'm sorry
It is quite
to interrupt, but
Aishwarya,
I would like to, we actually are moving out of time. Can I request you to take up your whole session in the next 15 minutes? We can have an open house where we will discuss a lot of points.
Sure.
He has a lot of more slides to take up. I'm sorry to say that.
Wonderful. Sandeep is also here. I acknowledge the presence of Sandeep. Yeah, he has come and a significant contributor to FinTech and wealth creation series.
Uh, Thanks, Aishwarya. In fact, it was a great discussion and a talk. I had just one question. In my first wealth management thing, I had specifically talked about bitcoins are issued by whoever it is. You don't know the source of the bitcoins. You know, so that is one of the factors which is a question mark. You can trace the bitcoins is a given. What is your feeling where governments will come in with digital currency, uh, and all this talk of bitcoins and other things will get replaced? What's your feeling on that?
I completely agree with you. And this is something when I talk about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was you can say, when you enter into an Olympic, there is a torch bearer who is coming in, who is in starting that whole revolution. So Bitcoin is that. Bitcoin is that torch bearer who has come into the picture, and the creation is done by the software itself and everything. But you are absolutely right when you say that once the digital currencies which are backed by the government or which are stable, they get into the picture, the use of Bitcoin is done, where it was telling the people that this is something which you can do. This is once it is enabled, maybe it will take a backseat. And this is why people are trusting it today, is because of the security features. That this is a security which this is a place where the security is enhancing every day. So that is not a technology that exists on Earth which can say about this about them. So similarly about Bitcoin, that is why the trust is there, and they have seen in the past 12 years nobody was able to hack it, nobody is able to crack it because of the power that it requires, the hashing power and the input that it requires. And actually today, if you want to hack the system, you need a whole economy to encash in it. Like it's a, let's say tomorrow China wants to do it, so China will have to invest billions of dollars, let's say, to first of all bring it down. So that is something that is there. So definitely your point is absolutely correct, bang on, where you say that once CBDC and all these things come into picture, they are going to take the first front place, and this is going to most probably become an asset class which is just like let's say where you want to do international transfers, or where CBDC is not functioning. So this will be the go-to place where other things are not working, but definitely it is going to move from the front picture. And this I can say because USDC, which is a stable coin, which is just got backed by the US government, it has reached the fourth place, third or the fourth place. The XRP suit going on, so it just goes third, fourth. That is what happening there. But this is one indicator where you are absolutely right that these things, the stable coins, are going to take over the world, and they are going to work, and they are going to create all the things that are there. Absolutely.
Right. Thanks a lot.
I would like to acknowledge Bitcoin was the emerging asset class till 2020. 2020 saw emergence and a big rise. Now it is emerged asset class. It has emerged. Talking about trust, some mistrust also. But through such excellent sessions like think tank webinars, global participants are able to join and also understand the importance of Bitcoins as asset class, the options available, and whom to trust, whom not to trust. There are many players. Who will emerge in the future also. It's open house, great opportunities for the creators for Bitcoin, participants, funding. Ultimately, everybody wants a piece of the pie. It's an asset class. More people need to trust the right people. We always have a series, the good, bad, and the ugly. So there are good people in Bitcoin. There are bad people also, and any ugly people would certainly be exposed in the series ahead. But let everybody get an option. It's a derivative word, but ultimately it's an option to the investor, whether institutional investor or individual investor on a corporate. Everybody must have the option. Do your own due diligence, do your own risk management, but definitely don't ignore the opportunity. The time has come. The idea has come long back, and now it's the time to participate in the success story as a proper asset allocation. Wonderful.
Exactly. So, coming back to the thing, so I have to finish it in the next 10 minutes. So we have seen a lot of adoption here, and another example that I can quickly give you is transport and ride sharing. The Uber, the way the Uber is getting disrupted. So another thing that you can have today, if you have excess funds, let's say.
Yeah, I did it.
So today, what if, let's say we have 10 lakh rupees and we want to invest, let's say, in Ola. So what we do today is we buy a car. With that car, we have a driver. We give that thing to the driver, and once that is done, you are just banking on that single car. If the driver is sick, you have no revenue on that day. If your car has gone to the mechanic shop, there is no revenue that day. If there is low output, let's say low demand today, you get a lesser income. All these things are happening today. But let's say with this, what we do is we try to create blocks. In that 10 lakh, let's say we have 100 blocks of 10,000 rupees. So here, with the help of this technology, earlier this was a very human intensive job. It couldn't be done. But today, with the help of smart contracts, what I can do is I can invest this 10,000 rupee junk, you can say, in 100 different cars across the world. So let's say I put 10,000 rupees in India, in, let's say, Kanpur, or another one in Delhi, another one in Kolkata. So now you see what happens here is, let's say the Kanpur one, the driver is sick, but still the 99 others are still working for you. That movement is still going on. So you're still earning. If there is a rainfall somewhere, you're getting a surge. If there is, let's say your car is in Delhi, your car at 6 p.m., you're getting a surge, which you might not get in, let's say, some other city, in tier 2 or tier 3 city. But let's say you are in a marriage, in a tier 2 or tier 3 city, and it is marriage season going on. Marriage season, the demand surges like anything. So you have a piece of cake in those 100 locations. So now the risk that we had earlier, and this is where I say the risk that is there, that gets diversified. So instead of just one person and you're banking on that one driver and that one car, if that gets into an accident, you're getting nothing that day. Here, 99 others are still working. So that is getting compensated by anywhere there is a surge, or where there is, let's say, more demand, or let's say where there's a rainfall. So all these things. So this way, today, the transport sector, where today we had very, very high risk on one vehicle, we have now diversified into 100 vehicles. So this is also one use case that is getting developed. Smart money. So we all have siblings or kids who are, let's say, studying somewhere or the other. And they you get a call and they say, okay, I want daddy or brother, I want 10,000 rupees for buying this book. How do you ensure that your kid is actually going to buy 10 books worth 10,000? That is where smart money is coming in. It has been integrated in Singapore itself. Singapore government is endorsing it, whereby whenever you're sending your money, you're telling that you're putting a smart contract along with it, and you're telling that money that only gets spent when you are for the purpose that you're being paid for. So let's say with that 10,000, I'm that student, I get the 10,000 from my father, and I go to a pub and I buy a mojito there. So as soon as I buy a mojito and I want to make the payment, I still have 10,000 rupees in my bank account, but that 10,000 rupee will not make the payment. Why? Because that smart contract has specifically been instructed that you are going to be paid only when this person, when this child purchases books, or for whatever purpose you have taken it. So that is smart money that is coming in. The retail investments, a lot of things, the gaming, if anyone is in the gaming industry, games that are there. So today we have so many these big arcade games. So you win trophies and all those things. Or let's say art business, you have art, you are working in an art business. So there is a startup called Artillery. So what you do is you digitize your, let's say, Picasso painting. So today only one person could have holded Picasso painting. Now here what you do is you put an NFT, which is non-fungible token, you break it into 1 lakh parts, and 1 lakh people can hold a Picasso together. So that is thing that this art industry has already moved like more than $280 million in the last year. $280 million. It is not a small amount. So that is happening. That is slowly happening. So a lot of things are there. Some industries where forecasting, stock trading. So stock trading has not taken the mainstream yet. They're still working on it. The forecasting is still not taking the mainstream. Insurance though has taken it, but energy management, construction, mining, blood diamonds that are there. So tracking of those blood diamonds and everything that is happening, and that will be the next thing that is going to be disrupted here. Moving ahead to the next one, where we see where is the money flowing. So you can see for the major one is in information and communication and finance sector. So this is just an indication where the money is flowing and what exactly is the people or the investors that are there in the industry they are putting their money in. So that is just for reference purposes. Then we talk about India. We say that in India, people say that this technology is banned. So this is where you can see more than 50% of the states have already implemented blockchain solutions. That blockchain solution are majorly in 4 different, you can say, places. First is land registry, the foremost thing that the government wants right now, digitization of land records. Now, this digitization would also remove the land mafias that are there, because everything is digital today. Once that is done, they are going to replicate the infrastructure has for the startup has already been done. They're just waiting for digitization. The Dubai model that I talked about earlier, that has already been done by a Pune startup already. They're just waiting for digitization of the records. Once that is done, we are also going to see that our land transfers, land deals are happening within hours. So that is something that is there. Insurance, I already told you how the agriculture department and the insurance things are happening. So that I've already told you earlier itself. And you can see every state, even for electricity, IoT devices. Recently, Lucknow, the UP government has tied up with the companies whereby they are going to share electricity, the solar electricity that is getting generated. So how this is happening is with the help of blockchain technology, because now there is a global ledger to take care of everything that is happening. You don't have to manually create those entries. You don't have to manually track it. Everything is happening by the digital itself. So the whole Indian map, you can see the dark blue states are the states where the solutions are being implemented. So not something where blockchain is about to come. Blockchain has already come into India. And this is one industry. If this is something which if COVID would have not been there, this advancement would have been there in the next 3 or 4 years. The next 3-4 years advancement has already happened because of COVID, because the trust on the governments or the printing of money that was happening, the way the inflation is happening today, and the way the central economies are printing money, the trust over the system is also somewhere a little bit going down, and people are getting more and more, you can say, influenced by these things which are happening, where you do not need central authorities. Because what people say, like when the Bitcoin also was created, the first statement which was given was, we do not want to trust the central governments, because their rules also cannot ensure that everything is working properly. We had so big scams in 2008. We already know it. I'm not going to waste time on that. So all these things happened, and everywhere, healthcare, digital records, certification, education, land registry, power sharing, everything is happening today with the help of blockchain. So the technology is already here, which is working a lot there. Moving on, I think to the startups ecosystem, I'll not be able to discuss a lot on this, but I'll still tell you where the startups are working a lot. Technology, BFSI, retail, human resources, and all these things which are there. So this is already there, where you see, this is a slide from NASSCOM, not somewhere on a general data. This is from NASSCOM last year, which was published by NASSCOM itself. So we see everywhere where we can imagine where there were inefficiencies, this technology is coming in and making an impact. Moving on to the last one, which where sometimes it is said that Bitcoin was banned. So first of all, this is a technology that cannot be banned. Cryptocurrency or all these things move over internet. There is no central authority who can ban it. So let's be clear on that. Nobody can ban it. If I have internet, even if I do not have internet, let's say I'm in a state where the internet has been banned, and if I still have radio frequency waves, which is I can still move money, move funds with the help of Morse codes. So let's be very clear on this. Nobody can ban the system. What happened actually in 2018, let me give you a brief on that. There was a circular which was published by the RBI in 2018, which was on statements on development and regulatory policies, which stopped the financial institutions from dealing with individuals or entities which were dealing in virtual currencies, or to let them be an exit point whereby the people were encashing this. That was the ban which was put by the RBI itself, citing that this is going to be harmful for the customers and this is going to be harmful for the banking environment. But this was squashed when a writ petition was filed by the Internet and Mobile Association of India. I have some people who actually went into this, so I have had discussions on them as well. It was squashed then and there in 2020 in March this year, whereby they allowed the withdrawal of funds from these virtual currencies in your bank accounts. That was the only thing that happened as far as regulations come in. I fought more than 100 cases on income tax where this was called as something which was illegal, and I've won all of them. There is no such case where I can say that anyone has been able to prove that this is illegal. Just that there is a very fine difference between not having a legal backing versus getting illegal. Illegal is where if you are doing something on that, you are penalized for that. The other thing is where you are not legally backed. Legally backed means there is, if you go with your Bitcoin to the RBI and say, give me cash for this, RBI is not obliged to do that for you. That is the fine difference that is there on these two things. So nowhere this technology is banned. And even if we hear articles.
India mein banned nahi hai.
No, sir, it is not there. Nothing is banned in India. So nothing at all is banned in India.
But my question is whether I can invest in Bitcoin in India?
Sir, I have been investing from past 3 years and nobody has been able to stop me.
So you are investing?
Yes.
And from where you can buy? Through internet you can buy whatever it is showing in on your net.
There are various wallets that are there through which you can buy, and I personally there are 3 exchanges that are the topmost, and I know the CEOs of all those 3: WazirX, ZepPay, and you can say CoinDCX. So
हमने भी इन्वेस्टमेंट किया 3 साल पहले का.
Sorry,
आप ले सकते हो माल वहां से.
Whatever I have invested in 2018, just that I was not able to encash it for 2019 and earlier 2020. Otherwise, I was still transacting. It was not illegal at all. I have fought cases for that. So nothing at all is illegal in India at all.
So your point is, sir, if I buy a Bitcoin today, I am looking at today. So if I buy a Bitcoin today, tomorrow I can transact with that Bitcoin to purchase or to pay or to anything.
So if someone is accepting Bitcoins, definitely. Like for example, when I teach, I also collect fees in Bitcoin sometimes. So yes, I am accepting Bitcoins. So you can pay me in Bitcoins if you want to learn from me. So something like that, just on a fun part. But yes, Bitcoins are acceptable and nobody is stopping you from that.
So it means 1 million, which you are talking about, that 1 million people are using Bitcoin right now and 20 billion is the volume. So means 1 million people can accept and trade in those.
1 million is for the decentralized finance. For Bitcoin right now, there are 32.4 million, which is officially there on the website itself. 32.4 million users of Bitcoin right now, and the volume is now
32.4 मतलब 32 करोड़ 40 लाख. नहीं 32 लाख. 1 मिलियन में कितना होता है?
10 लाख.
1 मिलियन होता है 10 लाख. तो 3 करोड़ होते हैं.
तो these people are already there.
sorry sir.
So 3 करोड़ लोग आज भी एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं बिटकॉइंस को.
Exactly.
सर आज सर ये रिक्वेस्ट.
So can you tell me what type of role a chartered accountant can play in this game? Because our client would like to invest in Bitcoin, and we stopped them earlier in 2018, 19, and even 2020. Also, we have told them not to invest. This is risky, and you can be behind the bar and something. So that is not true as per your interpretation.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, thank you. This is a very good information, and I appreciate the programmer.
I have one question. Yes. Say I am new in Bitcoin. I have not known Bitcoin much, but I want to know about it and know where to transact and how to transact, the regulations. So what are the sites or what are the medium or ways wherein I can gather that knowledge?
So see, everything is available on YouTube. If you want to have if you want to get into YouTube, you want to, like I think in the starting also it was said, if you want to know about the technology, it's all there on the YouTube. If you want a guided one, you can definitely connect with me, and so we have some courses on this as well. But apart from that, there are various places through which you can learn it, and I will just say that try to learn it from somewhere in the open source itself as well. You don't have to pay in too much for learning all this. This is something which is available on the internet itself.
You said from YouTube, but there are many people who upload on YouTube now. Which one is trustworthy and which one is not is a big question right now.
A request, you must put your video on before having any interaction. It's a protocol for everybody.
Okay.
Before any panelist would answer.
So simply what I'm saying is basically there are a lot of channels and I agree. So I will not be able to pinpoint any particular way and I cannot particularly say that this is the right channel, but definitely there are a lot of people who are there online who are putting it on YouTube and they are doing it wonderfully well. So that being said, you can study from there, and mostly if people see, the point is if you want to test anybody's knowledge about blockchain, just ask them a very simple question: what came first? Is it the Bitcoin that came first or the blockchain technology that came first? And the guy who says blockchain came first is the guy who doesn't know about the technology much. Why? Because Bitcoin came into picture first, and later on blockchain was evolved from Bitcoin itself. So there we added a lot of features on blockchain technology. Various technologies were merged. So the first integration that was brought into this was done by the Bitcoin itself. So if you are studying from anyone, if they are able to, if they in their starting videos, they will be talking about this. And if they're telling you this, that means they have the knowledge, they have the thing where you can go ahead and study. Just that sometimes what happens over the internet, you have a lot of information inflow and which confuses you a lot. So that is why I said, and even in the group itself, or you can ask Manoj sir itself, you can forward them your questions. I will be happy to answer any of those questions that are there. And so that is how you can learn as per me.
So if I have any further questions, how should I connect to you?
Just mention your name and company name, please, with your video on.
So I think you can either connect with Manoj sir itself, Raghav, or you can connect with me itself on LinkedIn. You can ask questions if you want that way. And so that is how you can connect, and you can ask more questions if you have personally. Otherwise, Manoj sir is there. I think Manoj sir will be able to help you out when you have a lot of questions and you want
The best is to have questions on live chat, and all important questions are being addressed
itself, yeah.
on live chat. And it's a series. All important issues will be covered in the future think tank webinars also. We appreciate the participation of all.
Exactly.
Just hi, my name is Ranjit Mishra, and I works for NBFC in retail side. I just wanted to understand this Bitcoin aspect is fine, but the blockchain definitely will eradicate a lot of frauds which is happening in lending space. And are you see the possibility of adopting Bitcoin, which is a kind of cost by is not feasible for a lot of lenders, especially NBFC banks can do that, but they have their own set of problems. So those are replacing the requirement of credit bureaus, where you have contracts and you can track each borrower's all the lendings done so far and their performance on that distributed ledger. And the second thing, enforcing the contract, because the legal systems are so broken that even a small one hearing case takes 10 years, 5 years. So that can be fixed by using the blockchain. So that's the limited point I was, thinking of. I just wanted to understand what is the ballpark number for, because the cost feasibility is not there to adopting such technology as far as corporates are concerned. That's why people are shying away with the blockchain technology.
So to answer that, what happens is this technology is evolving, and I completely agree. So right now, the number of people who are able to implement this solution are less. And when they are less, definitely what will happen is you will have to pay a little extra cost. That being said, the enterprise solutions that are there on blockchain have started to get developed, and like the solutions like Hyperledger, the enterprise Ethereum solutions, or if you talk about Corda, or if you talk about other solutions that are there on enterprise in India itself, that are also there. So they are trying to create business solutions and they are trying to implement it. Like for insurance sectors, there have been certain implementations. If you talk about supply chain finance, Trades, that is there. If you're an NBFC, you know Trades very well. So the Trades platform that is there. So Trades, what it is trying to do, it is paired up with a US startup Montego, which is a blockchain solution, which what they're trying to do is through that, they are trying to prevent single person from discounting their bill on various platforms. So they with the help of blockchain, what they're trying to do is they're trying to eradicate the duplicity that is happening. So if you have taken without sharing your data, because that data is very important. The data is a gold mine for that particular, let's say, platform. So if I tell out that data to someone else, that is something that they do not want. So blockchain is helping you in that. There is a concept called zero knowledge proof, whereby what you do is you divulge the information without telling you actually have the information, which is like if you talk about, there is a cave analogy that is there, which says that in your cave, let's say you and I, we are standing outside a cave, and I want to tell you that and there is a gate in between the cave. So in order to pass that cave from inside, you have to know the password. But what I do is I tell you that I know the password. But then when you ask me the password, I say I cannot tell you. So you say that prove me. How do you know that? So the only way to prove it is I enter from one point and I get into it. I unlock that door. I walk out from that other door. So this is zero knowledge proof. So here I have not told you the passcode, but I have given you the way in which you can authenticate that yes, this is how. So similarly, if I have discounted a bill on one platform using this technology, I am not telling you who the customer is, but I'm telling you who has already discounted it. So your work is done. You're not giving out the same loan to someone with that own bill. But through this, what you're trying to do is you are getting that information.
The fraud, yeah.
So that is happening. So a lot of things that are getting adopted, even in GST, if you talk, the new thing that are coming, the ISIN number and everything that is coming in. So there, what they're doing, they're trying to use a hash power, which is like the 256 SHA algorithm that is used by the Bitcoin itself. The code that you're getting generated, it is nothing something which is too fancy or something which is a very big technology. I can right now generate n number of such transactions at any point of time, because I know how to do it. So simply that way, this is a technology which slowly is getting adopted and the government is doing it. So this is one of the adoptions where on GST platform, if you talk, this has already been adopted. The security mechanism has already been adopted. So you can even adopt it in bits and pieces. That way, what I can feel is through this is happening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to share some of the co-founders and also the digital team members has said some of the interesting issues, concerns, questions could be addressed by them on LinkedIn also. So that's a major initiative. So look out for the panel members and digital team members who are sharing the think tank webinars on LinkedIn. It's a great opportunity and wonderful thing for the year ahead. Congrats to all the participants who have shared this suggestion.
Exactly. So with that, I close down my presentation. I think someone else has to take over from me. Manoj sir?
So Aishwarya, there's one question which is there. How are the miners motivated?
So for every block that you have added, you're getting 6.25 BTC generated by the system. So how does Bitcoin come into existence? So let me talk a little bit about that. So in total, there are 21 million Bitcoins that are going to be created ever. The last Bitcoin being mined in 2140, around 120 years from now. So that is the limitation that has been set. You cannot edit it. And what happens is these miners, they get reward for putting block into the system. There are two rewards that you get. One is for verifying your transaction, which is a very small amount. And the second is once you add a block, the reward that you get. So the reward is, it halves every 4 years. This is how ultimately in 2140, you no more will be generating new Bitcoins. So in 2020, this halving happened in the month of July. Earlier, there were 10.5 BTC that was getting out, 12 something like that, which were 12.5 BTC that was getting out. Before in 2016, it was 25 BTC. In 2012, it was 50 BTC. So now, right now, it is 6.25 BTC that is getting generated. So if you remember, I said in starting itself that in the month of December, 22 to 23,000 Bitcoins were generated. That means these number of transactions or these number of blocks were added, and this is how the Bitcoins came into existence. So it is not something which is random, or it is not something which is coming out automatically. It is by every block that you add, the miner is getting the reward. So that is how they came into picture. And mining, like I told you, the revenue that is there is right now $33 million per hour. Obviously, there are huge costs involved. I'm not saying that this 33 million is a core profit. So there might be a lot of power that maybe 21 million is the power that you have spent, or maybe in setting up that whole farm, because you need specific processors, which are known as ASIC processors, application specific integrated circuits. One such processor comes in for like $15,000. And the whole setup you have to do. So you have to spend a little bit of money that is there. So yes, but the reward factor right now, because the rates are booming very high, so definitely the reward right now is very high.
So basically, if the Bitcoin prices goes up, that will compensate the reduction in the mining benefit what you derive. So that will be the driving factor for the miners. Otherwise, going forward, if the Bitcoin price remains stable, probably miners will exit, and this 2140 estimation may go further along.
Correct. So that is why this is something whereby, and every time a halving happens after 6 months, 4 to 5 or 6 months, we see this boom. Last time in 2016, this started, and in July this happened. So now you're right now seeing that boom period which has happened.
Yeah, thanks. That was really great insight. And other question was related to fintech, which actually I'm just pulling out these questions from the chat inbox. So the other question which I saw was like the rate of interest is very high when it comes to fintech. It is around 18 to 36% is the price you pay when you take a loan, immediate loan. So what is the solution to this high cost?
Payday lending is a concept which this concept is known as payday lending, and this originated in US, and this has been the biggest failure in US. In UK, it has already failed because of the mighty traps that it engulfs. Because 36% is like literally you're paying 2% per month. That is very high.
3%.
3%. So 3% per month is very high. So this is something which has evolved, and that is why RBI has a very good restrictions in this, that you cannot, the maximum amount that one can lend is 10 lakh. The maximum one can amount that one can take from various fintechs online on this is amount like 5 lakh. So those things are there. That is why the government is trying to put in regulations in this, because they do not want the public to get into it. But because since this is easy and you can get it within minutes, so people do apply for it. But I would always want everyone to stay away from it. Always.
Oh, that's nice. One thing I wanted to add from my end, like you were talking about some artificial intelligence happening, wherein all your data, what you key in, are being visualized and being used by some people to generate revenue for themselves. There's a good web series, we can say, Social Media Dilemma on Netflix, which actually gives you an insight that how your data is being used and manipulated, and how you are being pulled in because you are a revenue commodity for them. That's really a great.
So for website searching, I can suggest a Brave browser, BRAVE, Brave browser. That is completely 100% where you cannot be tracked. You open your and you can actually see. So if you are just opening YouTube, you're not even selecting a song. Already 5 to 6 people are tracking you. If you open a song, 12 people are tracking you. What exactly song you're listening? That is the limit at which they are putting in your privacy. That is the limit that they're getting in. So the Brave browser, it inhibits or it stops all this. It will stop you. And also what it does is it rewards you for browsing on that. So if you are just full day, if you're just browsing, you can even earn from that browsing. So that is why I said that you can use that, and that is somewhere where your privacy is protected. I always use that.
Basically a kind of Ignitia, something what we have on Google. But the thing is, like, if they are giving you benefit, of course they will not pay from their own pockets. So tomorrow they will be generating your data and then selling it in the market. Somewhere they will have to generate revenue.
Different revenue. Also what happens is they will ask you, do you want to see ads? If you are saying yes, I want to see ads. So At that point of time, they are collaborating with the people, and from there they are getting that revenue. It's not that they are giving out for free. See, what is happening is the revenue models are changing. The blockchain revenue models are micro payments. We have been today seeing, earlier what happened was, there was a thought process that was there. If you are into sales department, just catch hold of a client which earns crores and you're set for life. Now this thing with the blockchain is changing. Now what is happening is you try to focus on 1000 people who are earning 1 lakh rupee. System is enabling it, that your efforts are the same. Technology is enabling it. So micro payments is something that is getting enabled by blockchain itself. So your revenue is not falling out. Your revenue is going to be remaining the same, just that your scope is widening. And when your scope is widening, so if earlier one guy was asked to, if you will be ready to see my ad, now 1000 people are getting asked. So at least from 1000 people, if 100 also agree, that means 1:100. That means 100 times more growth on this. So that is from where they are getting their revenue.
Yeah, so that
we have
multiplier
many
effect.
experts among the participants. I am glad many of the experts are responding to the questions on chat and they are answering. A few experts among the participants would like to share a few charts. We would like to have a few charts, which also includes the derivatives and also about Bitcoin. Rajendra ji, are you in?
Thanks, Aishwary.
No problem.
Aditya, just see Rajendra is in. He would like to share a few charts.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check. Just one sec.
Yeah, right now it will be difficult for me because I'm not on my laptop and charts are not there. But next time, I'll be with there.
You can share a few thoughts on the derivatives and on the Nifty.
So you are referring to the we can see some.
We'll have the Bitcoin chart later. Rajendra ji, let's have a few thoughts from you on the Nifty.
Let's not do it on the Nifty today because Mr. Gupta is speaking very good on this.
That's okay.
What he's speaking.
Rajendra ji, what you
So let's
like
not be on the Nifty or something of the sort because I want to hear him. I don't want to speak today.
We have a lot ahead. Would you like to share a few thoughts on the Nifty or any of the derivatives, just in a couple of words, as a veteran?
Yeah, Aishwarya is here, so he will be part of the open house, and we can have, after 15 minutes hearing you, we can have Aishwarya answering all the questions.
No, because I've been.
The chart is here. Yeah, it's wonderful. We have the Bank Nifty chart. Feel free to share your views. Then the expert panel would also give the views. The Bank Nifty chart, I think it is there. It shows the trend.
I cannot see the chart actually.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Experts in the participants. Yeah.
I cannot see the Bank Nifty chart actually here. So that is there.
Is it showing?
No, it's not showing. Let's not get into the charts right now because I want to know more about what he's telling me. The charts and all can be done sometime later, I feel. Next time I'll be joining and be coming out with the entire thing because what he is speaking is totally enchanting me.
Okay,
let's go to Mr. Gupta only.
Okay, yeah. No
Aishwary, one thought I would like to have the direction into, see, if we want to reach, country wants to serve the last mile, this basically blockchain is a very important tool. So how can we as a professional, because awareness is very important, to disseminate this information specifically for governments, so that, because government has started, but we need to, if you can throw some insights into what all things can be done, specifically keeping an eye on the country, because we have such a big distribution and this technology is exactly for that.
Correct. I absolutely agree with you. And the things that I particularly see where the government is already doing it is, we are an agricultural economy itself. So government is focusing itself on land records, insurance, and everything that is already there. So government is already, what happens is blockchain is seen as an enabler. So when you merge this technology with other technologies as well. So today we have IoT devices, like you have a smart bulb or you have Alexa. So those are the basic things that the internet has given us. Now, if I want to move money on it, I need a ledger for it. A ledger which will note down all the transactions.
Aishwarya, can we look at the chart and have the Bitcoin chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, just put on the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, wonderful. Everyone is welcome to share views on Bitcoin chart. Then we'll have the views of each of the panel members present. Can you all see the Bitcoin price chart on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in inception. Yeah, please have a deep look at it. It's a part of the market trends and wealth creation series. So do your due diligence, do your own risk management. Technical analysis is always a tool. The price trends are a tool. There are ups and downs. There are major fluctuations. We have seen Bitcoin prices collapse by over 50% also in a few weeks also. And we have seen the rise also. This gives a opportunity for everybody. So on request of many participants, since the last few days, a special chart has been prepared and for all you to see. Any views from participants, please feel free to put your videos on, identify yourself, share your views. Any questions on the chart? Any more insights? There's a lot more to come. It's a series. Sandeep?
I just wanted to ask Mr. Gupta. Yeah, I just because of I knew something on this, and because I've been with the NSC and BSc since last 20-25 years, and they've been inculcating so many new things which are coming. Because without the new technology, even NSC will not be able to be on time and like on the real time. So they are also asking for so many things. There were a number of frauds which also occurred. Like you can see the last two CEOs were suspended because of indulgence into things. Now with the blockchain technology which they have come, you cannot some fraudster, the fraud has to be minimized. You know, the thing is there. So in fact, I just learned so many new things from Mr. Gupta, but I would like to interact with him personally to understand what is the future, because I have a friend in US who is doing his IoT. What he is doing, you know, like he's putting a small chip on the electricity meter, and with that small chip, and he's control on the phone. So what he's doing, suppose you're coming to your house, and before you want to enter your house, you want the AC because it's hot outside. You just direct on the phone that please put on the AC, and it should be at 20 degrees temperature. Immediately the AC starts, and suppose you are driving, within 15 minutes you want to reach there, the room cools. Suppose another example he gave me is that he wants to introduce the entire concept to India, and he is one of the finest person who is in US. I am in personal touch with him, and he explained to me so many other things. Now, the one thing what he said, there was a shopkeeper in US. He got into this, and he put the chip in there. While coming out, he just forgot whether he had opened down the shutter or not. So immediately on the phone, he just requested put the shutters down, and I'm driving. Immediately the shutter was down. In fact, he had left the thing open. The shutter was down, and he was full safe and there. So whatever he's speaking, I'm aware of it in the small bits and pieces. But what I see, the reality is that in India also tomorrow, like so many things are there, IoT, which is the things on internet. You'll be able to control so many things on your mobile phone. So this is what is interesting, which I want to know him personally, what things can be done in future so that we better our life and enhance and protect ourselves from frauds. So personally, I would like to talk to you personally later on. And from Mr. Manoj, I'll understand with him, because Mr. Manoj is a very close friend of mine, and he introduced me to so many people there. So thanks to Mr. Manoj for calling me here. And next time when I'm there, since last 20-25 years, I've been doing the ETF charts on so many other things. Cryptocurrency is there, the NASDAQ is there, then the Indian futures, and so many futures and derivatives which are there, which I'll be able to share later on. But right now, I want to learn from Mr. Gupta what things we can do for ourselves.
All our personal connections on LinkedIn for those people who like and share positive comments. That is expected from everybody. And it's an interactive channel. LinkedIn is a platform which has been announced. So feel free to interact. But liking and sharing and positive contribution is most important as a significant thing for the India growth story.
Yeah, Manoj, you asked me to actually have a look at the chart for Bitcoin. I'm not too sure when this chart was taken, because right now,
1 hour back.
Bitcoin is showing it as the closing is 39,396 instead of 39,917. What it means is actually there's at least on a very short term basis, on the candlestick chart, it has given us a engulfing bearish pattern, which only would mean that there would be a correction, because all the indicators are reflecting that it is very extremely overbought, number one. And the second thing which I'm looking at is, if it has to fall, it could fall to around the 20-day average, which is approximately 30,000 levels. So that is the gist of the chart, which I'm just had a look at it and able to tell you that, and that probably could be one of the things which could happen.
Wonderful insight. We have a lot more charts prepared by the digital team, and all the panelists are also a part of the digital team. Can we have a few more charts, please? And we'll give adequate time to all the participants to have a look at the chart and understand the chart. Yeah, wonderful. This was suggested in the Finance and Banking Conclave, which had huge, overwhelming response, a full house, and also viewed by over 500 CEOs, CXOs, CFOs, eminent bankers, and finance experts. So this is it, the latest. Can we have views from the experts on this? Please take your time to look at the price movement.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll chart and great opportunities for wealth creation. Yes, Sandeep.
Yeah, I'll just come back 1 second.
They have been specially prepared by the digital team on Friday late evening to have the latest and the best for all participants for the think tank, conferences, conclaves, and webinar series, where the topics and issues are suggested by all the participants on LinkedIn and through multiple forums.
Yeah, on the Nifty charts, in fact, this is one chart which is still looking good from my point of view. And the first resistance level which comes in, the immediate resistance is approximately between 32,650 to 32,800. I think it is right now, yes, 32,084, which means about 600 to 800 points more on the Bank Nifty. If this is crossed, then it is going even higher, and the higher range is between 33,600 to 33,700.
Wonderful. No investment advice. With all disclaimers, make your own due diligence. This is a sharing of experiences and knowledge for mutual benefit of all the participants. The charts speak for themselves. Numbers don't lie.
And again, the disclaimer, yeah, please, the disclaimer is always there, because one of the things which, when you pop up the Nifty charts, I will come to it on the Bank Nifty. I will talk on both.
Wonderful. Can we have the next chart?
I think I can open that chart live. Tell me the chart, give me a minute, and I'll open it live.
If connectivity is good, we have a lot of experts who can bring on live charts also. You'll get the latest prices. These are specially prepared at late night by the wonderful participants.
Yeah, sure. I can just correlate.
I hope the connectivity is good. If connectivity would be good, it is all thanks to the Digital India growth story.
Yeah, tell me the chart that wants to be opened.
Let's have the Nifty chart. We'll come to Nasdaq also. Let's have the Nifty chart.
Okay.
Many members suggested to have some insights on derivatives. You can see if you can have some inception also, and for the financial year from 1st April. We can have both one at a time if the connectivity is good for live chart.
Just the trading view is loading. Give me a minute. Yeah. So we want to see it from the inception. So I think this is the inception one.
Hello.
Thanks, Aishwarya. This one of the biggest things which is not shown here is unfortunately the volumes. What has been happening here is that as you are tending up on the charts, the days on which you have the upward movement, the volumes are lower, whereas on the days when the the prices are coming down, the volumes are higher. So there's a absolute cautious approach to be made in terms of the Nifty here at this particular level on Monday. But mind you, if it goes up from here, from the closing levels as of Friday, and it moves up on high volumes on Monday, the chances are that it will add another 550 points on the Nifty, which only will indicate that what I'm saying on the bank Nifty will then supplement or add to the what I am saying on the Nifty. The 550 points on the Nifty will be backed by the approximately 1,500 points on the bank Nifty. But on the reverse, suppose, because right now on my charts, actually, if you draw a resistance line, the resistance line actually falls on that, the closing itself or the high of the day. So what happens is if at all it reverses from that level, mind you, there can be a correction. But if it really shoots off, and there is a possibility, because everything now is, the uncertainty in the US is getting over, things are in better shape. It's quite possible the liquidity also might start coming in with President Biden showing the way for another generous stimulus package. So it looks like we are heading another 550 points up.
Another opportunity for wealth creation in 2021. Keep your own risk in mind.
But
need
again,
to buy
the disclaimer on mind and the resistance level on mind.
Right. No need to buy on Monday. Keep your due diligence. Try to understand charts. Learn to be your own wealth manager. Learn to be your own wealth advisor. Take input from everybody. It's your money. Decision is yours. It's your client money. Decision is yours. Keep him involved in the process. Sharing practical experiences is vital to the game. The good, the bad, the ugly. All the ugly would be exposed very soon. And let's reward the best. And the best are here among all the participants.
Mind you, sorry.
Next
sorry,
chart,
Manoj, continue.
Yeah, sure.
So which is that we have to open?
No, sorry. Before I close on that Bank Nifty thing, the Bank Nifty has not really reached its top. Okay, the Bank Nifty high is 32,613, if I'm not mistaken. And that is again an indicator or a level which you should be watching. So it has not crossed that level yet.
Yes, 32,600 is a high. Correct.
Yeah, that's right. 32,613.
Charts speak for themselves, but always be aware, beware, keep a vigilant eye. There are a lot of manipulators in the market, whether it is global markets, Indian markets, whether it is large caps, small caps, mid caps. There are lots of opportunities available. So the good are there, they create wealth. Manipulators are there, they are being watched. Vigilance is there, but opportunities always arise. Yeah. Can we have the chart is there. Any thoughts on the chart, on the trend? Today we are covering some part of the derivatives and the indices. In future, possibly there is a lot of request to have a weekday series in the late evening when the exchanges share the latest derivative data, and possibly some of the stock charts may also be shared. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Keep track. Any thoughts on this chart?
No, we have already discussed this. So I was just telling you all that the high has not been reached so far.
Fine.
We are right now at 32,084.
Can we have the next chart?
Yeah.
Can we have the next chart?
What is the next chart that we have to open?
Well, Nasdaq, we are all looking forward to that.
Okay.
We wanted it to come open automatically through the open house. Otherwise, that would be the first chart, the first slide would have been shared. Everybody wants to list on Nasdaq. Many of the Indian companies have also listed on Nasdaq with Indian entrepreneurs. There'll be many more listings, hopefully in 2021. Lots of wealth is being created and lots of people, experts, participants sit overnight and watch the Nasdaq midnight. They are all global citizens, global market players. Can we have Nasdaq? The latest available?
It's just opening. Yeah, we have it.
Any thoughts from any of the participants? There are lots of experts among the participants. It's a full house on the Nasdaq. Views, comments, all are welcome. Just share your thoughts on the live chat.
Another 300 to 400 points to go. So likelihood that, keeping in mind what is going to happen, actually, the Dow looks a little better than the Nasdaq.
What about Nasdaq? What is the risk downside in 2021?
It's about 9,000 or 9,800 to 10,000.
Okay, so it's going to be a broad range. So keep your eyes on the ball, keep your eyes on the Nasdaq. Many more companies would get listed. It will become bigger and bigger. Stimulus is on, which has driven Nasdaq. Ultimately, it's a fintech story. Can we have a chart of Dow, as it was mentioned? The latest chart on the Dow, can we have from inception if possible? That really would be wonderful. Then we'll have of the financial year from 1st April onwards.
I think, okay. Yeah. I think the index is, do we have a specific name for the index? The Dow. That is a stock.
Aishwarya, you can try by typing DJI.
DJI, okay.
Dow Jones Industrial Average.
Okay. Yeah, we have it.
Wonderful. What is the beginning period of this chart? Do we see the last recession?
Let me check. We have the last 5 years.
Just see, of course, we'll discuss the last 5 years. It's vital, but can we have a longest period chart available?
That is,
on
I
the
think,
side?
on this one, I think it is the longest one. 5 years is the maximum.
Okay, we have a
If we-
century-year-old chart also. We have
If we
shared
click
in
all-
the earlier conferences. Yes. So this shows how prices behave. Greatest opportunities for multiplying your wealth. Or also, it shows a risk level. If you don't have your own money, or if you don't have the money for your margin, what can really happen? Right? It shows how Robinhoods can make money also with their options and their stop losses. Or also, they can get into a panic and exit the market for maybe next 10 years. So need to understand the market, need to understand the charts, need to do deep dive as always. Any thoughts, any views from the participants? There are lots of experts among the participants. There are a lot of youngsters among the participants. All views are welcome. Please take your time to understand the chart. It's part of a series. It will be continuing for a long time ahead, as long as Nasdaq is there, as long as Dow is there. You will have eminent experts sharing their knowledge and practical experiences.
Roshan this side. I had a question.
Roshan, can you just share your company name and the sector you are interested in for benefits of all? It's wonderful to have young people like you.
Sure. My name is Roshan Jha, and I work in a bank. And it was a fabulous session by far. And Mr. Gupta had a small question about what you have explained. It's a bit scary because I work in a lending vertical. So when you said that a customer can take loan within an hour or maybe a fraction of minutes, so whole process of credit assessment goes into a toss, probably automation and all that. So we have seen limited automation in product like home loan or BIL for salaried. But I have a little, concern over the understanding that how, if a corporate is going to get, borrow money from bank, how that assessment would be automated first. And second is looking at the chart of Bitcoin, highly valued now, probably 29 lakhs INR. So would further players from, in the form of cryptocurrency will come and this value will be corrected in future, or how it is, or it's like a monopoly situation, and how we can invest in a smaller fraction and what would be the portfolio, means how much from my portfolio of investment, how much should I keep Bitcoin part of it, like debt equity and certain portion of Bitcoin? That's it.
So
well, I think I would suggest before Aishwarya and Sandeep come in, if you are not dealt in Bitcoin, just make it below 1%. Then learn from experience. Of course, others would share their views. Keep your risk in mind. Nobody would like you to lose your hard-earned money. So it's a learning game. If you are not ready, keep it below 1%, and always keep in mind, only invest the money you are ready to lose. It should not affect your psyche. It should not affect your mind. You should not exit the markets, because there is a huge potential for you to create huge wealth in the future. Huge wealth you can create in the future. But as of now, only invest what you are ready to lose. If you're ready to lose 100%, be ready to invest that portion. But very clearly, not more than a percentage. Very, very clear. We are sharing from experiences. Yes. Otherwise, one can just say, I will put in $1 of multiples, whatever, it's a zero, matter of zeros, and become a multimillionaire overnight. But ultimately, take care of your health and take care of your money, take care of your risk, take care of opportunity, take care of opportunities in all asset classes. Look at the charts, always do deep dive. Without deep dive, don't spend a single dollar. And dollars as of now, it is expensive. We hope rupee appreciates, and there are much more inflows in the India growth story. Sandeep, Aishwarya,
thank you, sir.
Your thoughts? It's a wonderful question, very important question, the most important. I think you address the question of practically all the participants would be having this in mind. And I'm glad you have shared you are a banker. And banking story is here to stay.
Sandeep sir, please go ahead first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you want me to go ahead? Okay. No, I agree with Manoj. In fact, the reason being that we don't know that much about how, Bitcoins really work in the sense that, from the volume terms, in India or elsewhere, it's very easy for us to actually know the volumes in the share market and others, and what is impacting the stock markets. Now, for Bitcoins, what is impacting Bitcoins is a question mark, right? All the stock markets are dependent on the economy, the financial position of the countries, the currencies of the countries, etc., etc. What is it that impacts Bitcoins is something I have to learn myself before I actually comment on this, and that's one of the reasons I would say, yes, you take a chance of less than 1%, and don't lose heart if you lose the money, and keep it invested. And I'll tell, as a fact, I'll tell you something which had happened. Someone in the US, she actually keeps, checking out on what is going to happen on whether it is Bitcoins or any other things in the US stock markets. And the scene was that Bitcoins rose and touched about 9,000 odd. And at that point of time, I told her to actually sell it off. And she said, I don't mind, I'll keep it. And she had bought it around 3,000 levels or something. It came back to around 3,000 levels. And she said, I don't mind keeping it. And she had said that, one or two, coins she had, and she's made money on that. So that's the way to play on the market, because this is extremely difficult to actually analyze, except if you are a technical analyst, where it'll go, where it'll head, because I'm not sure of the fundamental. Manoj, you can help me on that. I don't have any fundamental view on Bitcoins. So
there is a fundamental view. There is a fundamental view. There is lots of mining happening. The cost is rising. Ultimately, limited supply is there. It's not easy to print money and big stimulus in Bitcoin if it is properly regulated. So that's a very, very vital. And money can always be printed. Gold cannot be printed. So that is it. Once Bitcoin started getting printed, unlimited in trillions, then of course the fundamentals change. But very good points on fundamentals and technicals. Deep dive is very, very essential. And now we'll be having also further charts. We'll have Aishwarya's views on the risk level. And also we'll be having some of the charts of some of the biggest investors in India from the global market, Amazon and Facebook, after we have all the views on the current chart.
So basically, if I talk about myself, I have never been a person who has sold it. So I've been accumulating its Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the major ones in which I personally believe, that they have the potential and the power. So I have never been a seller, so I'm not a trader. I cannot tell you that whether you should sell it. I'm holding it for, let's say, another 10 years, and that is what I am doing. And I've started accumulating, let's say, I have little investment in Bitcoin, but I have more investment in Ethereum. I've started investing when it was 27,000, and I've never made a sale. Till date, I've never made a sale, and I'm not going to make a sale for the next 10 years. Why? Because I know the potential that this technology has. Why I am saying that is because this has already gone mainstream, and it is just the start. And when we talk about how big it will go, so there will obviously, like Sandeep sir said, there will be corrections. It is not a rocket which is just going up. It has to refuel somewhere. So the corrections will be there, and the corrections are right now. So what happened in 2006, 17, 18 versus what is happening in 2020 or 2021, there is a basic change here. What happened was in 2017, 2018, there were retail investors who were getting in. So what happened was at that point of time when when it started to fall, a lot of people who were retail investors, they panicked and they sell even if they did not want to. So the problem here at that point of time was retail investors. Here, what is happening is every time this is going down. So if you see this particular chart, this particular line here, which is the red one, where there was a dip for 28,000. This dip was bought in within 25 minutes for all the supply that was available. And these investments are not coming from retail anymore. Retail is getting in because of the FOMO, which is their fear of missing out. Definitely they are there and they are feeling that they are missing out and they are putting in their money, definitely. But what is happening is the institutions are still holding. And that is when I made my investment, it was at the time when Grayscale entered into it, because I saw if such a big company, if such an investment fund was getting into it, it was seeing something. And another thing why right now this is booming is because there is some cases where I have read that the US economy is trying to replicate what they try to replicate in the Second World War. After the Second World War, which whereby what is happening is the dollar will inflate to an extent where the debt seems very less. And at that point of time, there will be a restructuring that will happen. So most of the people who understand this and who can say that this is something which they have maybe seen, because Biden has seen this, Biden has worked on it. He had been a campaign manager at the time when this from World War II happened, I guess. So he had seen this, and some of his managers are planning to do that again. That is why this time in India itself also, maybe I don't have too much knowledge about stock markets, so I'm not the right person to comment on it. But even what happened every year was during the Christmas, FIIs used to move out. This time this has not happened. They're still in the economy, and this time the whole December chart has been where the FIIs have still kept in a lot of money into the system. This is where I feel strongly where they are trying to exit the dollar terminology right now, and they are fearing that might be something, if that sort happens, their actual value is going to depreciate. So this is because of which the value is also appreciating. This is one of the factors which most people will not walk you through, but this is something because I get into all these details, and that is why I'm still holding it. And I have not made a sale, so for trading I cannot suggest you. I'm still holding it. Most probably it might boom, it might not. And what I do is every month I put in a portion of my income that I have, that is for fix, that I put in, and I forget about it. And I'm not selling, I'm not panic selling at all. Whatever is happening, maybe it goes to 1 CR or not, it's okay, it's fine. So we are doing the same for mutual funds and everything. Similarly, you're doing it that way. For platforms, personally, I can say ZepPay or CoinDCX or WazirX, because why I say these platforms is because I know the men at the top at those organizations. So if anything happens, I know whom to connect with, whom to call. So that is something again where I feel that yes, through these platforms you can take, and you can invest as small as 100 rupees. So if you're not confident, if you don't want to do it, put in 100 rupee. 100 rupee won't hurt. Every day you can, if you want, or something like that. That is completely your choice. So these are the platforms where you can get. And right, again, what is happening is if whatever dips are happening, they are getting bought out by the investors. And earlier what was happening was there were a very small amount of investors that were getting in. Now when the fund is coming through EFTs and all the fund managers and all the fund managers that they're talking about, JP Morgan $146,000 prediction, and Blackstone, and everyone who is coming in, they are having their own prediction models. They are all having that, they're all feeling, so for me right now 50,000 is a crucial level. Most probably it might be attained, most probably it might not be. So I'm not at all predicting or saying that where it will go, but this is
investing for 10 years. That is what one of the greatest value investors says. He invests in stocks for the fund for 10 years, but keep on watching the price. Don't ignore. The greatest value investors keep in regular touch with the management and also share honestly also what he does not understand. And even when he realizes a mistake, he enters on those stocks. So that is the name of the game. The next one, can we have Amazon and then Facebook? We are incorporating all the suggestions made by most of the participants in this open house. So there is maximum benefit to all. It's a global fintech think tank webinar, a special one customized for all the participants.
By the time this chart opens, let me show you how you can.
Yes, that's Amazon. Let's have the longest possible period.
Sure.
We know Amazon kept a lot of people waiting patiently. So when people talk about 10 years, it makes a big difference. Many people, the smartest professionals, they could not understand the business model of Amazon for a very, very long time. They just thought it's a bookstore online. But big plans ahead. Same thing happened with Facebook. Same thing happened on Tesla. They tested patience of all the value investors and all the traders. And sudden changes were disclosed in fundamentals. Ultimately, the smartest investors who made mistakes earlier, who exited, made losses, could re-enter and make good wealth.
Yeah, so we I think have Amazon's, yeah, right here.
Wow, what is the longest period shown in this chart?
Let me do that. So from 1998, where it was valued at around $1 or $2.
Right. So what is the multiple as of today from the beginning?
I think 300 from $200 is started, and now it is around $3,000.
What is the multiple?
More than 12x around. 50.
And for how many years it tested the patient?
From
it shows
22 years.
22 years. That's what it likes to create a greatest success story. What is the ranking of Amazon in the global market cap sweepstakes as of now? Top 10? Top 25? Top 5?
It's somewhere around top 10, I guess. I'm not sure.
Right. 22 years of patience. A bookstore. Trust. Right? Trust was lacking. Some trusted. They waited. They continued to trust and created wealth. Trust is the biggest name of the game. Besides business model, it was not only about Excel sheets, right? It was not only about financial modeling and putting a multiplier. Trust, delivery. Today, what does Amazon do? It gives you instant refund, right? You get a laptop, you get a mouse, it doesn't work. in the warranty period, you get instant refund without even getting the mouse back with just a photograph. It happens on the same day, right? Isn't it among the biggest employers also? A digital story, a growth story globally. Can we have Facebook chart? How much money has Facebook invested in India? It is there for a very, very long time. How much it invested in 2020?
So by the time that opens, I'll just want to show you all the tokens that are there. Like if you want to buy tokens in India, if you want to buy a Apple stock right now, so you can just go on this exchange, which is FTX exchange, something which is very prominent and backed by the government itself somewhere indirectly. So here you can see prediction markets as well, whether Trump, so this was the run when Trump elections were going on. So here you can see Tesla shares and all the major shares that are there. I was talking about Coinbase, which is about to get listed. So all the things you can see: Apple, biotech, Niomarch, Amazon, Alibaba. So everything you can buy in small fractions. Like if you want to put in $10 in Facebook, you can do it from here. So this is the power of blockchain that they have created. This is tokenization that is happening of the stocks in the security market.
Opportunities are there, high risk is also there. Keep in mind, beware investor, jago investor.
Manoj always have a caution advice everywhere. That's really nice. Take your own decision.
So from inception, let me do it.
What is the longest period? Which year does it start?
2013.
How many years, Chat?
I think 7 years. 7 years.
Wonderful. See the growth story.
Yeah, that's what. That's when it got listed, right?
Right. Before that, it was private.
Yeah.
The young generation has seen the listing. They have wondered about the business model on listing. They have also wondered about hype. They were also scared about the post-listing fall. There were a lot of rivals, right? Lot of skepticism. What happened? Faith and trust. And what have they done? Investment in India in 2020. Faith and trust. The more they invest in India, growth story, the more global investors will benefit. They need to trust their partners too. That is very, very vital. And keep faith in the India growth story. FDI is coming, lot of big opportunities are coming. Many global investors can come on their own. They can find their own partners. They can change their own partners. Ultimately, many are investing through private equity also. So wonderful chart. And I believe the entrepreneur and the founder is the youngster.
Yeah, I
This
think
shows what kind of wealth youngsters can create, not only for themselves, but for the global community and for the global investors, whoever can get the opportunity to get a piece of the pie.
this looks on a little shaky ground actually. I'm not too sure why it is, but Facebook compared to Amazon, for example, I don't know what reason, but whether it was rather, the effect of the Trump versus the Facebook war. I'm not too sure of that, but it was on shaky ground. I think
Can we have the Apple chart? The next.
I think Tesla is a better one.
After the review on this is over, we'll have Apple being a tech company, and then we'll have Tesla also, which is now being called a tech company.
Well, sir, it's been 2:15 now. Can I request for last two charts only? People are waiting.
Right. Apple and Tesla. And then we continue in the series ahead.
Yeah, so we'll be happy to have Aishwarya sometime whenever comfortable in the next coming sessions of ours.
Not only Aishwarya, Aishwarya is a youngster. Aishwarya is a youngster. There's a digital team which is working on all the charts and shares insights.
Yeah, very true.
So Apple has been, I think, from all-time high. Okay, so it has been there from 1985, where value was 0.
Right. What is the multiple since 1985 till today?
I think today it's $132.
Yeah, the reason is that it's got a split.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why it is 132.
Right. That is what I was thinking.
How many years patience it was tested?
I think 1985, 20, 30, 36 years.
35 years.
36
Right. We had Steve Jobs. He worked very hard. He came to India on a spiritual mission, and from that day his destiny changed, and he benefited immensely, and then much more wealth creation. And the current management understood. They also came to India on a spiritual pilgrimage. They keep on bringing many top entrepreneurs on to India on a pilgrimage, and they understood the India growth story. The biggest digital participants are there in India, not in China, not in the other countries which have huge fiscal deficit. Right. Tesla, known as an innovator. They are looking at space also. Somebody wants to space, or they want to go to space. They are looking at models towards that. Mobility.
800.
It is not only automobile, it is mobility solution, right? This is how innovation happens on a day-to-day basis. Keep your eye on innovation. The company is doing innovation. The biggest wealth creators, whether in India or the global markets or the top 10 economies of the world, are the top innovators, whether in IT, whether in technology, whether in pharmaceuticals, whether in chemicals, whether in electronics, right? How does the chart look like?
8 years starting, 2011, 12, 8, 9 years from 100 to 800, 8 times.
This shows the investment phase, the investment cycle. Then the benefits start coming. And often in this industry, the benefits rise exponentially. If the enterprise is able to win trust of customers and investors, that is vital. If you don't get trust of investors and customers, then you may not survive. For every winner, there are 100 losers. They lose out, they die out, or they get acquired. It's possible. The number 1, 2, 3 will remain, and it is possible number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they may get acquired. And the other one, they may declare bankruptcies. It's possible the number 2 may declare bankruptcies. Now number 3 may get bankruptcies if they are not able to win trust of customers and investors, and also keep the government into confidence. Although it's democracy, there are many global tech players fighting the government for their own freedom. That is it. And wonderful to see so many charts and lots more in the think tank, conferences, conclaves, summits, webinars, series ahead. Communication will continue from the digital channel on the international platforms of LinkedIn and other forums. All the team members are always ready to share real life experiences and stories. That is the name of the game. I hope all the participants continue enjoying. Over 100 requests have come from top experts to share their knowledge and real life examples in the series ahead. And I wonder how many sessions we can accommodate also. But the best is being done by the digital team, which is expanding by adding more and more tech savvy youngsters also. So that's it.
Yeah.
Thank
Sandeep, you're
you all
saying
the
something?
participants.
Yeah, I was saying that again, Tesla has a split. So the 880 you are seeing is after the split.
Oh, that's pretty great.
So I think if I'm not mistaken, the price had hit some 3,000 levels.
Okay.
I would say a lot of people have gone short on Tesla in 2020, right from the beginning. The main reason for the rise, looking at from technical angle, has been short covering. When it rose up, they had to cover. When stimulus money came in, they had to cover. And on a fundamental front, there has been significant changes on an ongoing basis. More and more trust in the innovation. More new innovations are coming, more expectations from Tesla. Very soon, you will see a Tesla car on the road, and you will see some other participants also doing the test drive. Participants from think tank, conferences, webinars, conclaves, you will see them doing a test drive. So it is all trust. Ultimately, they have to deliver. We are not sure whether they'll deliver or not. So a deep dive into the fundamentals and technicals. I hope the chart doesn't dive. It's possible it will dive and rise again. So rise is again the name of the game. So that is Tesla, that is innovation, that is chart. And thanks to all the participants who are giving excellent suggestions, and they have been implemented by the digital team. That is the greatest part of it.
Okay. Well, I take this opportunity of thanking Aishwarya, thanking Narendra ji, thanking Sandeep, thanking Manoj, thanking Ajay, thanking everyone who have actually come ahead, and all the participants who have tried to be with us, so that we can actually have a lot of sharing of knowledge, understanding information, and it's been very fortunate, Ashwari, we were able to get your views, your understanding, and the way you have been specific, you are an investor, and as you said, you understand this area, so you are very comfortable to invest your money and keep waiting for it. However, people, when they're not aware, they feel that let's encash the profit, but they miss out the long investment returns, what is possible. I appreciate Manoj's point that we all have to deep dive and then be invested over. And when you're investing in the right company with having a very strong position, you can actually expect to get good returns on your investment in the long run. Well, I think it's time for us to wind up today's session. And in the next session, again on 16th, we will have financial reporting and performance and market trends. So that is where we look ahead, everyone joining them and being present with us. Thanks, Aishwarya. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Aishwarya.
Thank you, everybody.
Well done.
Thank you.